Quickly checking. Hope that worked. Yes.
All right, I did put the link. You could put it in my Discord as well if you want to kind of showcase. I think it would be good for you to just
Alright,
send me the
alright.
link. So
Yeah, sure.
this, yeah, the second I'm basically, let's say I have to leave, at least they'll have
Then they
a
can
your
hop over,
perspective.
yes, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I
exactly.
will just give you the link quickly.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
also
yeah.
might have to give me some time to just share it around a little bit. I don't have like a
Yeah,
subscriber
take your time,
base.
take your time.
I just send it to my mother and you know who. Let's see.
Give me
So,
1 sec. I'll just mute for 1 second.
alright. Okay, my stream should be live. And also I need confirmation if group 1 is ready. Cool, thank you, sweet potato. No, we have no caster for group 1, unfortunately, Dubs. We're gonna start very soon. I will just spread the word real quick and wait for Wimp to come back, and then we will be ready. Might have to adapt some sound. Like that will be good. Ox, alright. Good, good. Thanks for the confirmation on the stream. I'm just finishing up and Wimp will be there any minute, then we can go. You don't necessarily have to leave Discord, Wang, just make sure that you're not catching the stream, of course. But I think group 1 has no stream so far. So it's gonna be in game 2. Alright. Where was that link? Yeah, that's right, Chris. I think unfortunately there is no stream. Maybe Jasonek, I wasn't able to contact him yet. I was hoping he could Discord stream group 1, and it is going to be 2 games each group. So the next game we will stream group 1, Chris.
Pot, I'm basically ready. I'm just talking to chat,
Alright,
waiting for you.
Ready? That is cool.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be ready in like a couple of seconds.
Take your time. Whenever you start, I'll hop in call. Okay.
Very nice. Can I just talk or?
Yeah.
Yes.
For sure.
I mean,
no,
will you get the note? All right.
Yeah. No. Whenever you start the game, it should be fine.
Cool thing. Cool.
Okay, this is the funniest moment ever. But I started streaming in the hopes that I could get this game running. But I did tell Pot about I have to AFK for like 5 minutes.
All right.
And it's right now. This is the worst fucking time.
Oh, it is right now.
Is there a world where we can wait?
It depends how long you want to. No, you know what? It's better if you hop back in later because they are already, how you say, like the horses are grabbing their hoofs. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, I think it's best if we start now and then you just hop in. We will still be relatively early into the game, so it should be still fun.
I'll mute and I'll drop the link of your stream basically in chat.
That is good. I just give them the command. We're ready. Let's go.
I'll be back in a second.
So that both groups can start. I will start now. Ready check. So we wait until everybody types in the ready. Woi says wait. Alright. That is why we have this. You can't play same tech. You can. It's just your selection. Woi, I put in the description everywhere. Yes. So again, it is best tech. I'm glad he asks that actually for the stream. So they are playing the best tech, which means your choice of tech each game. FFA, 50 lives, Anon, Fog of War. Yes, that's how it looks like Silverthorn. BBQ will play Levy twice. I hope Wong has the same. Yes, Dubs, you can start. Let's go. But do a ready check in group first. Yeah, Silver, I just wanted it to be beginner friendly. I know it's a bit more enticing and interesting if we have many tech variations, but for now it's a weekly, it's simple, so you can pick what you're best at for everybody. Yes, Dubs, you can. Okay, let's go. Let's see here again. Ready check. So Term is ready, Silver is ready. Where is Woi? BBQ is ready. Woi is typing. Okay, let's go. I suppose Woi is ready. I saw him type in chat. Good. Okay, welcome everybody to the end of season Line Tower Wars tournament. we are at the end of season 10 here, and I wanted to host a little tournament, little by the sense that it can all be completed in just one evening. So it's going to be a lot of Flying Tower Wars this evening, and the idea is for it to be a bit beginner friendly, which means that you can play the best tech. Silver has to choose the modes because he's player red, so we will observe it here. 50 lives for everybody. Then it should be random lanes enabled, which is by default, but it was not always like that, and anonymous fog of war. So that is good. Very good, Silver. I should have put myself referee. I'll just hit him on Discord. Yes. Good. So the mode selection works. Then they can start. So we have 2 groups of players, and that is because we have 8 signups, and the game tends to start becoming laggy once it is more than 4 players in the end game. So end game is the sudden death, which starts at 26 minutes. Before that it's likely not laggy until your PC is really bad, but because we want to look after some of the very good players who have a bad PC, I'll just set the camera to 3000 here, which is standard for LTV, to just take into account people with a worse PC. We will play maximum group size of 4 for this tournament. And so what we see here, I will just explain the basic concept of the game really quick. We have 4 players, and the player each has their own area, so to say. So this right here, what we are looking at, is BBQ's area. He's the yellow player. Over here we have Silverthorn's area. He is the pink player. Over here we have Woi's area. He is the brown player. And right here we have Term area. He is the dark green player. And it works like that. You are always sending to the player on your right. So it is like a tower defense game for those who understand the basic concept of tower defense. But instead of just having clearly fixed rounds every time, you always get sent by the player on your left. So he is actually the one sending you the creeps. And the more you send, the more income you get for the next round. So what we see here is the income of each player. We see it already starts to deviate a little bit. Silverthorn is drawing ahead, and that is also because he maintains the lowest mace value. The mace value is the total value of all of the towers which you have in your maze. The maze, we call it what you have in your area right here. Eventually, every player will start building their maze. And we see here like a meta shape, you could say. They all start to build it up in a very similar way. As the game goes on, they will start to deviate because they all have their own style. For example, BBQ started pretty far in the back, already close to the end, and the other 3 all started in the middle. But they all started with the same... somebody has paused. Silverthorn? Alright. Wait, Pot wrote something on Discord. That's not true. Did I? Change the stream screen. Oh, Coffee wrote something. Type to all to Pot. Oh no, did I? I think I know what's the problem. I have the... Yes, thank you very much, Coffee. That stream would have been pretty bad otherwise, because I had an overlay, which is of course the just the thumbnail that I made. Okay, I hope everybody can see something now. Whew. Thanks, Coffee. So I think we are ready now. And next game I will have to host with referees so that I can actually write something in the chat and not just observers. Yeah, you can see it is the first weekly tournament we host here. And it's all still a bit wild, but it will get better over time. So I'm pretty sure it is good now, but I will ask for confirmation again. Oh, I'm glad Coffee actually caught that one and wrote it to me, because many viewers might have not gotten it and would be like, well, what is happening here? Okay, thank you very much. Go, go, go. Okay, next game I gotta host as referee. Whew, thank you, Coffee. Also, Coffee might want to join into the other group as referee for the next game. Just so we have somebody there. So we see now we actually see something. You can see the maze of everybody as they start building it up, and we are at the so-called skeleton stage. So this is where many of the skeleton warriors start streaming in, and they have the ability that after death they revive for they revive with little health again, and then they keep just walking. And the basic concept, as already explained, you can see everybody has their area here, and they send to the guy on the right, and they defend to the guy from their left. So BBQ is at the edge, that means he gets sent from Term, who's at the other edge. And for example, Woi, who is brown here in the middle, gets sent from Silverthorn to the left, and he sends into Term on the right. And now the first stage that is dangerous for the players to defend is the so-called spider stage. So these spiders are really dangerous because they have the skittering ability. Each tower and each creep that can be sent, they all have like unique traits and abilities. For example, the acolytes here, when they die, they heal units around them a little bit. And the spiders have the skittering ability, which means they are automatically targeted last by all of the towers. They target everything else there is first. As you can see, they are all full health here, and still that acolyte dies, and only then will they be targeted. And so you have to either manually select the towers to kill the spiders, or you have some very short range towers like the Rockfall here, who will eventually hit the spiders because there is nothing else in range. So those are the first that are a bit dangerous, but they are mostly dangerous in the very beginning of when they can be sent. So early that the players cannot even build a tech tower yet. The tech tower is whatever can be built from the Wisp. You can see this is a tech tower, the light flies, and this is a tech tower, the fire pit. And maybe we can catch somebody building a Wisp somewhere. Oh no, we cannot. But don't worry. Basically you have two different kinds of towers that can be built. This is the Wisp, and now he transformed. You have the basic towers, like the Archer here, and you have the tech towers, like the Voidling here. And of course the basic towers are very cheap, they only cost 10 gold a piece, and the tech towers are more expensive. The level 1 starts at 200 gold. But that also means that the tech towers are much more capable. Generally speaking, you want to have tech towers to deal your damage. Oh, we see a big shade wave coming from Silverthorn into Woi here. So Silver wants to steal already. This is like a dedicated attack. Basically, and Woi is doing a decent job defending, but it was so good from Silver that he might actually steal something. Yes, he stole 2 lives. So we see the first lives traded here. Those are very good players. Actually, 3 of those players are in the top 10, I believe, and Term is in the top 20 at least. So all in-house players, as we say. Light Tower Wars has like a small but very dedicated player base. So you have those who have a small competitive scene, we call them the in-house players. And then you have people just host, you know, the lobbies that are for everybody, we call them pubs. And there you have the whole bandwidth of players. Sometimes even the best, and sometimes who are just playing for the first time. But in in-house lobbies, as we have it here with the tournament, of course you want to have only the best players together, so that it is not skewed in a way. Here we also see a dedicated attack from Woi into Term. So Woi tries to steal some lives back, and he just got one very closely. The shade got through there. By the way, whenever a unit gets through, for example that Rot Golem here, which just barely gets killed, so good job defending from Term. Whenever a unit leaks, as we call it, so the units that come in, they want to walk through the entire maze, and at the end they leak. And when they leak, they go into the next player's maze. So to whomever Term would send, when he leaks units himself, those units go into BBQ's maze. And that is relevant for a number of reasons. One is, you get bounty when you kill a unit. So whenever you send a unit, you get income for the next round. You can see here the income. You can see here the income ticks. Every round is 10 seconds. After every second, each player gets a new gold. You can see here, he had around 5k income. The player I'm selecting right now, which is silver, so he got 5k new gold. And he wants to send all of that gold all the time when he can into his opponents to the right maze, so that he gets even more income the next time. But at the same time, he wants to be able to have so much towers in his maze that he can just barely defend whatever he gets sent, so that he can put most into sending and gaining more income. Why did I say this? Because when you leak something, the towers, the creeps which you kill, they also give you bounty. So this is a one-time gold gain. And of course, if you leak a lot of creeps, you lose the lives, so eventually you die. And at the same time, you also lose the bounty. So the player whom you sent into actually gets a little more gold then. And there can also be, for example, strategic leaks. And that means when you know you're not going to defend it, because there is going to be such a huge send into you, and you're going to leak anyway, then you don't even try to hold, but you try to use the leaks that go into your defender's maze as a sort of cushion for your own send. So that the leaks come in first, and afterwards you bring your big send, which will be even bigger because of the leaks, of course. So just a little bit about the Light Tower War strategy. Basically saying you want to send, oh, here we see a nice send from Silverthorn. He upgrades 2 very high level maulers just so he doesn't leak. This is income wise not efficient, so he sells them again because they cost him 10,000 gold. And as you can see, his entire maze value is only 15k now. It was 25k before, just because of those towers, because he wanted to make a hold no matter what. Silverthorn is flying very close to the sun here. That means he has a low maze value, but he also has an income lead over the other players already. And he is able to get that and to maintain that because, sorry, that is actually, I'm in voice maze here, but the maze value thing is true for Silverthorn. I got it confused real quick. That is Voy who had the cell here. But Silverthorn is able to play with a very low maze value because he has BBQ sending into him. And as you can see, BBQ plays a tech that is distinctively different from all of the other players. Like these mazes, that maze look very similar because Silverthorn and Voy have both chosen the same tech. Term's maze is looking different because he chose a different tech, but BBQ's maze is even more different in a way, because he is playing the Void tech. We call it the Void tech because these are all Voidlings. As you notice, his entire maze is already covered in those Voidlings, whereas the others, they still have many basic towers. Like this here is a basic tower. Well, not so many basic towers, they don't play like I do, but they still have basic towers, which BBQ has not. And the reason for that is, those Void towers, they spread. So I wasn't able to cover it throughout the game when I was still explaining the basic mechanics, but those Void towers have the ability that they spread over to the next towers. And the Voidling, which is the first one for 200 gold, spreads over to all of the other basic towers. And that means that this spread, the initial spread, is already complete for BBQ. You can see his maze value is so much higher than that of all of the other players. He's at 168k now. And that is because his maze value automatically ramps up without him even having to upgrade more. So you can see that is because of the spread of his towers. By themselves, those Void towers are not so strong. They do chaos damage, which is equally good against everything, but only single target damage. So not too much. But eventually they spread throughout all of the basic towers in your maze, which makes them very potent again. Here we see a committed send from Term, and I can already predict you this is gonna get nowhere, because BBQ's mace value is just ridiculously high, as it always tends to be. BBQ is a bit the Stonewall defender. Well, I said it gets nowhere, but let's see if I'm actually correct, because this is a very committed send with air on top. Like the easy, the basic math you can say in Line Tower War sending is you first want to wait until right before, yeah, he barely holds it, very nice. You first want to wait until right before the income tick is down, now. Then you send all the stuff in, and then at the beginning of the next one, you send all of the stuff in again. So that without you losing on an income tick, you get 2 sends at the same time, so to say. And then you send the slow units first, and then afterwards the fast units, so that they catch up with each other around here. And then afterwards the air units, which will be even faster through the maze, so that everything lines up towards the end of the maze and overwhelms it here. That's like sending one-on-one. And then there is 2 kinds of sending. There is income spam, which is not supposed to leak, which is what all of the players are doing most of the time. This looks like a semi committed send. So there is income spam, which means you send the very cheap units if possible, because the cheaper a unit in Line Tower Wars, the more income efficient it is. And that means also that is why it's called spamming. You can see the high APM players, this is where the APM, oh, I need to make a break here, because Silverthorn is attacking Void. So there are attacking units at key points, and one of them is the Siege Engine. And Silverthorn just broke open the first box of Void and streamed in a big chunk of Dragon Spawns behind it. Dragon Spawns are a dangerous unit because they are so fast. However, Void is playing the Scorpion tech, which is the most meta tech right now, the same that Silver is also playing. So the Scorpions are just extremely potent and they nuked everything down. Now the thing with the attacking units is they might break the opponent's base open, which is very good, but of course income-wise they are not efficient at all. They cost a lot and they give a little to you, and they give a lot of bounty to Void. So attacking has to be very surgical in this game in order to be good. Sometimes when the opponent has his front not prepared or not ready, you can, like Judo, flip him if you get lucky and break everything and just stream through until the end and win like that. But these are all very good players here, so that attack only had a little of an effect. Not too much, I would say. However, if you look at the income, you can say you can justify the attack, because Void, who is one of the best players, he is rank number 2, I think, on the leaderboard. He just got overtaken by Dubs today. They are very close to each other. Void is down in income, which of course keeps spiraling as the game goes on. So he is down now by Silver, who is, I believe, rank number 3 or 4 on the leaderboard. So they are very close together, very potent players. These are the 2 top dogs, you can say. And BBQ is also a very, very good player, but he is also special because BBQ is well known as the Leviathan player. He always plays the same tech. No matter if it is meta or not, he doesn't care. He keeps focusing on his Leviathan every season. And that means he might not profit from the advantages of playing the most meta tech, for example, but he also cultivates this tech like hell. And BBQ tends to be a very defensive player, because, as I was explaining earlier, you have to spread that Void. And the way how it works is with Void, you have to overbuild early, like you have to build a lot of tech towers too early, so to say, so that they can keep spreading through all of the basic towers. And afterwards, when you have the first tech towers everywhere, you keep upgrading some of them to level 2 and spread them through all of the other level 1 tech towers. So the Voidelisks are all level 2 tech towers that are worth 1k gold. And that is why BBQ's mace value is still relatively high. However, Void's mace value is distinctively higher. And that is because when BBQ plays so defensive, that means Silverthorn has such an easy time defending him. because BBQ is not so much committed on stealing lives. That means Silverthorn understands the situation he's in. He's having a very chill center on him, and that means he can go full on aggro and Void into Void. And that is what we are seeing here playing out. So Silver is pressuring Void as hard as he can, and he is doing a good job at it, because he got down Void in income pretty significantly already. And now Term just stole 25 lives from BBQ. I missed that, but I knew it was a Spirit Walker wave, because those Spirit Walkers are so extremely strong. And now BBQ did what I was explaining earlier. He knew there is no way he's going to hold all those Spirit Walkers, because of how nasty they are, and so he just leaked all of them and stacked his own wave on top of it and threw it into Silverthorn. So Silverthorn, who had a very easy time defending up until now, all of a sudden has a gigantic send in his maze. And he's leaking some of them, but it is actually Term's units that he's leaking. So those Spirit Walkers, they stole double lives for Term. They went once through all of BBQ's maze, and they went through all of Silver's maze as well. So Term is in a great position right now. He is the lowest rating players of all of them, but politically speaking, he is playing it really well. Term almost, I think it's fair to say, he's upsetting the people a bit here. But he has the most income and the most life. And that is because Void has such a hard time defending Silverthorn, who had an easy time defending BBQ. So Silverthorn went super hard into Void, so Void could not go hard into Term at all. Also, politically speaking, Void recognized that the player here is most likely Term, because he knows Silverthorn would not play this tech. This is the Vault tech. It used to be very meta last season, but not this season anymore. Let me see how much gold is Void banking up. Nothing, so nothing to worry here. You can see when they are banking up gold. So Term is banking up a little bit of gold here. Not sure if he does it intentionally, but that hints at him wanting to bring a very big send into BBQ soon. Now Silverthorn is bringing a bit of an aggressive send, but not... Ah, this is actually an aggressive send. So this is the Necro send, we call it. It used to be very dangerous, but it has been pretty much figured out by now, which is why Void is able to hold it well. But still, this send was very good, because Void has to upgrade his mace value a lot to hold it. And so he still keeps being down on income. But Silverthorn is now also down on income, because he was forced to defend BBQ's double send earlier. You remember the Spirit Walker double send from Term and BBQ combined? Silver decided to defend almost all of it, and for that he had to ramp up his mace value a lot, so that he lost his income lead to Term, who has been the laughing fourth player in all of these situations. And now Term keeps cruising a little bit ahead. I'm curious to see how it keeps working out. But keep in mind, Void has not yet put a dedicated offense into Term. Void knows that in sudden death, his mace and his sending pattern is stronger than Term's. So he... Oh, sorry, I missed Term's gigantic send again. That threw BBQ out. It was again with the Spirit Walkers. Those Spirit Walkers are so dangerous. We saw Term saving up gold early, and he was actually sneakily saving up gold. He didn't just send nothing into BBQ all of the time. He always sent a bit of the cheap creeps, but only a bit, and he kept most of the gold for many income rounds. Until out of the blue, so to say, he was able to throw in such a big wave that it threw out BBQ, who is actually a Stonewall BBQ, as you could call him, right away. Because in the later stages of Tier 3, we are now in Tier 3. You can see the timer here, 21 minutes. We are in the later stages of Tier 3. This is where BBQ tends to become very strong defensively, because he keeps upgrading and upgrading his mace value, and you cannot steal from him anymore, no matter what you do. But Term was able to catch him right before that and got him out. So Term is actually in the best position right now. Look at this, 100 lives, 1.6 million income, 3.6 million mace value, same as Silver, so that's okay. And still, I'm convinced that Term will not win the game. Because that's how Land Tower Wars works. Because the sudden death game is a different beast. And Voi and Silver are both just so good at this sudden death game that Voi has a lot of confidence that all of these lives here from Term actually belong to him eventually. So he's not in a hurry to steal them right now, because actually he wants, no, that's just a little cent. Actually that's a big abomination cent here from Voi. I think he does want to make something happen. Yeah, you can see here, units first, flyers afterwards, so that they match up together towards the end of the maze. And Term has to ramp up his maze value like crazy. He's going over the 10 million mark soon. And still, will he leak or will he not? It's gonna be super close. I need a sip of tea real quick. He actually defends.
Alright, I'm back.
Welcome back, Wimp. Ooh.
Oof, good timing, right?
I was talking out of my mind. I'm glad I get some support.
Yeah, you got it. Alright, so... Bro, this is a pretty close game.
Yes, and Term is in the pole position by far. And Term is actually the lowest rated player. And he threw out BBQ with a number of gigantic cents. And the way how the dynamics played out so far was BBQ tends to be the defending player. So whoever he sends to has an easy time defending. So Silver, who had an easy time, went very hard on Voi. So he got Voi down in income and in lives. And Voi, who had such a hard time defending Silver, in Term could not go hard on Term. So Term had an easier time defending. So Term was, positionally speaking, he had the big advantage of them, and he played it out perfectly. He used it to save up a lot in the key moments and get out BBQ through that. So it is 3 players left. However, I was just explaining, I'm still convinced that Term is not going to win the game, for the simple reason that his sudden death is not top notch. And in the end, with the best players, it's coming down to sudden death. Oh, Term actually had a huge tier 3 sent into Silver. He might get out Silver again. Oh, that is 16 lives stolen. You see Term sending
Voi is definitely the favorite, right? He's the highest rated player.
Yes, Voi is the favorite. And I think Term is playing for second here, and he's doing it extremely well. And Voi is allowing it to him, so to say. He just sent 1 big cent into Term that I caught. But apart from that, all of his cents were only like income spamming and sometimes income spamming plus, when you just force him to upgrade a bit, but you're not actually dedicated to steal. And so Term, you can say, was Voi's tool in a way, really well, by going full aggro on all the other players. And like that, Term can secure him second spot. So he's going so aggro into Silver. Silver must be seething right now. But Silver is a great defender, I should also say, one of the best defenders. So he was still able to hold, and he's still hanging in there at 37 lives. And now we had the timer.
All the mazes are super similar. It's crazy. I feel like there's only one meta at the moment with...
Well, let's say the composition of the mazes tends to be very similar towards the end, but the shapes tend to be different. But the 3 players we have right here all play the same shape. I would call this the Milo shape from Milo Rambaldi, who figured it out like 1 year ago. This became the new meta, and most players adapted to it. So they are all opting for a very, very similar maze here. You know, I should also say we are at the end of the season, so the meta has been pretty much figured out. And so the longer the season progresses, the more similar the mazes get. Because everybody found out like, oh okay, this is probably the best here, and this is the best right there, of course. Now I could spend an eternity explaining exactly why which tower has to be where, but I think that's not for this stream. We'll just keep observing it a little bit and seeing what they do. So now sudden death has started. That means the players will now lose a life automatically every income round. So they are now under big pressure to steal lives. And what happens in sudden death is you have to decide the two things matter. You have to get the perfect send in to keep stealing lives, and you have to assemble the final maze, so that you can defend even the best send as good as possible. And the question is, what do you do first? Do you try to get the big send in early, or do you go for the big defense? And what we see is Woi is going for the big send early. We can see Woi is already opening with a lot of these obsidian statues into Term. And when you see somebody sending like 3-4 of those statues first, you know this is the really committed big send. He's going to bring a lot of shredders behind it, and on top of it he will bring the worms. And so this is where Woi tries to steal all of those lives back from Term, which he let him have up until that point. And Silver on the other side went pretty deep for upgrade. However, Silver is already getting his send in as well. You can see at the maze value, they are all still relatively low, I would say. Silver went up the highest, but the really fully assembled maze that holds the sends to the most part needs more than 30 million maze value. So Woi is stealing a huge amount of lives now. You can see them trading back and forth. And Silver knew he is under big pressure from Term to actually die. He is also losing a lot of lives. So we can see Woi being the laughing third now in this situation. How? Oh, now did you see what happened? Now Silver just got taken out. Silver just got taken out by a little bit. But did you see what happened in Woi's maze?
There was literally 4 worms, if I saw that correctly. So he had like 2 lives, and
just by the very end, Silver died, and at that very point, Silver was such a short time away from stealing big time back from Woi. So Woi was lucky now, because just when the send was at the end of Woi's maze, and Silver would have stolen a ton of lives back, which would have been Silver's comeback, just then Silver died, and so his entire send disappeared in Woi's maze. And now it's Term against Woi, which is not the outcome.
Look at the phoenixes. Look at the phoenixes. Top left.
Term is going for the phoenix play. So he knows, Term knows, in the sudden death, he cannot compete with Woi. He will lose that battle eventually. So what he does is he stacks up the phoenixes in the corner. And in that corner, the phoenixes are pretty strong. And what did Woi do as a response? He defended his corner. You see where he has 6 shrooms. That is where usually you want to break with the phoenix. But because because Woi built 6 shrooms there, he knows he can no longer break it. Because those shrooms are like the biggest anti-air unit. They are super good against killing the unit itself. They give it armor penetration, they slow it down, they deal huge damage. But also the shrooms heal all of the towers around them when they are attacking something. So the phoenix could no longer crack it up. So Woi saw he was stacking phoenix, Term was stacking phoenix in his corner, and as a response he defended the point where he knew he would be most vulnerable. And then Term tried to attack, but the attack got defended from Worm, and now it is over. By the way, at the same time, I might have missed it. At the same time, Woi might have sent Phoenix into Term's maze and broke it open. But I don't think so. I think Term knew, okay, the attack didn't work, the game is over, so he deleted parts of his maze, and Woi can now stream it through. So that was a super exciting first round. I did not expect Term in second place, but he played the hand that was dealt to him really, really well. So Woi, who was looking pretty bad going into sudden death, I knew he was gonna to flip the situation somehow, because with the first big sudden death send he would steal so many lives back. And that actually brought all of the pressure in the world on Term to get Silver out as quickly as possible. Silver, which would be the main competitor of Woi. So that was very smart strategic game from Woi. He gave all of the opportunities to Term, who used them to become second. So that was pretty cool. Now, we might hop into Discord real quick to look at what that means for the point distribution. Let me just...
All right. Are we doing a second game, or how is that going to work?
Yes, we're doing a second game. Just give me
I'll
a
stream
second.
a second game and that's it.
Yeah, that sounds good. So, do you want to stream the second game alone or with me together?
We could do a little bit of both. I'll tune in. We'll shoutcast.
No, I mean you want to stream the same group.
You're a great, bro. You're a great caster by yourself. I feel like you know the game so well. You know, I feel like it's hard for me to pitch in.
I'm trying to hold myself back a little in the next. Don't worry, I will let you take the lead, and I will just explain a little bit in the next one. But what I mean is, let's cast the same group again together instead of each casting our own. And so this time we will switch groups. So we have group 1 now with Voi, Silver, BBQ and Term. And now we will look over to the other group with Dobbs, Wong, Chris and Bornefeld. And so then we have one game from each group. They both played 2 games, and afterwards the top 2 of each group will advance to the final. So then I'm gonna cast the final. So now we would cast group number 1. Let's just quickly get the points. Let me...
I'll let you do that though. Let me see if I can actually open the stream again.
Yes,
bro, that was such a mess at the beginning because it's so bad. I had to stream.
Yes.
I wanted to stream the tournament and then like I had to go.
So yeah, I understand. You announced it right before, fortunately.
Yeah.
So don't worry.
From the viewer's perspective, it's like, what the fuck are you doing?
Yeah, I understand.
Opening stream and then closing, but I knew this was gonna happen, so I guess I should have just started streaming later. But
I'm still happy you're with us. Don't worry. It's the first time we stream a weekly like that. I expected it to be a bit messy. We'll just get through it.
Yeah.
So let's get tournament chat. One.
So you're gonna host the second lobby, or?
Yes. Let me host it.
Okay. At least I think if you host, at least we can just sit in the lobby.
Yeah, we can already join. I will host group 1 now for the second. Someone host group. Let's say Silver. Host group 2, please. I hope the volume is adjusted well so that not something is way too loud. Might turn down the in-game sound a little. Okay.
Yeah, let me try to work out the. Anyways, you're hosting.
Yes.
Yeah, nice. Very good. Very good. Oh, Silver hosted. I don't know if we're joining that one or.
No, we're joining the other group. I told Silver to host group 2, and now I will host group 1.
So should I be casting group 2, or could that work, or
whichever you prefer. So
who's in group 2? Is Wu in there?
Group 2 is the same group that we just cast.
Okay.
So I will switch it up that they both have exposure, but I would actually be glad if you cast group 2 again.
Yes, I'm down to do that because I know these guys. I know Silver. I know Term. I just played versus him.
Yes.
And Wu, that fucker, I know him pretty well. So
then let's do it like that. And
let's do it
then we have both groups covered. And perhaps if you still want to cast a final game with me, you know, a group of the game of the final group, that would be great. But only if you have time.
Yeah, I love that. I love that. Let's do a cast each, and then we'll meet up for the grand finale.
Yes, that's perfect. Let's do it.
That's awesome. Okay, sounds good. All right, good luck with the cast.
Thank you very much. You too. See ya. So I will mute myself here. Okay, I have to rehost the game because I hosted it without referees. This time I have to host with referees. Let's go. So host it at group 1. And I will have to quickly Vimp will Okay, Chris, who hosts? Chris required to host the group because he could not play. The ping was just too high. He's playing from NA. We have, I think, 2 NA players today, and the rest are EU. So they are mostly hosted on EU servers. But I also give Chris the benefit. But you know what? It shouldn't be, because I actually announced it as a EU tournament. The idea is to rotate it every week. So next week would be NA tournament. But when Chris said he has 1K ping, that of course is way too much. Let me just, you know what, Chris, join real quick and see how it is. Then we decide. Okay, so I must say that was a very exciting first game to cast. I might need a second now. I hope I can also share the Discord with you real quick so you see the points. Okay, so I go over to referee, close all, and ready check. Chris, you write me in Discord if it's unplayable again. Okay. I'm glad he needs 2 minutes. I need them too, actually. So let's go. Yeah, let's just real quick set up the Discord here. Oh, that didn't work. Alright, doesn't matter. I will show it to you as a text overlay here. Whoops. So you can see like that. So in this group we have Chris, Dubs, Bornefeld, and Wong, I believe. So now we need to allocate the points real quick. So Dubs was first, as expected. He won that group. He's the rank number 1 right now. So Dubs, 10 points. I should move him to the top. So Dubs is at 10. Second was Chris. So Chris is at 7. I should do like that, is better. Chris is at 7, and I believe Wang. Okay, Wang was 4th, so he's at 2, and Bornefeld was 3rd, so he's at 5. Let me just confirm, is 10, 7, 5, 2. Yes, that is the correct point distribution. So that is how they are going into game 2. The top 2 of each will advance. So I believe Dubs has a secure spot in the final already, and now Chris, Bornefeld, and Wang will still battle it out for the second. If Wang wins, he wait, is it possible? Then he got 12. Yeah, he might still edge it with a decider game. So mostly Chris and Bornefeld are battling it out, but I would see all of them still up for the possible final spot. So that's how it looks like right now. I will take the text out again. And for the other game, just so you remember, Woi won it. So Woi has 10. I just quickly posted into the tournament chat for Wimp. So Voy has 10, Term has 7, Silver has 5, and BBQ has 2. Oh, thank you, Coffee Ninja. I'm glad Coffee did this for me, so he saves me some work. So now I'm actually ready with everything. Ok, ready. Check again. And then we might be good to go. Hope everything is working fine. Ah, Koseng, close. He should not be in the game. Where is Chris? Chris is missing. Oh, he might be struggling too much with the ping. Did I get a message? Ah, game bugged now. At Chris. Let's see. We are waiting for Chris. I'll be right back in just a second. Okay. Yeah, I mean, Coffee. Theoretically, Chris could not be the final, but let's be real, I don't think he's gonna have the 4th spot and everything is gonna be reversed, but it might happen. I don't think on best tech, but it might happen, that's true. He doesn't have 100.0% guarantee. So let us see. Bornefeld ready, Wong ready. Chris, Dubs ready. Chris said go, and I'm sure Dubs is ready. He was just writing in Discord. Let's go. Go, go. So group number 1 is what we are casting now. And this time we have Dubs, who is ranked number 1 in the leaderboard right now. Wong, who is ranked number 2. Before we had Voy, who was Wong is ranked number 3. Before we had Voy, who was 2, and Silver, who was 4. So it's very close. We have the top 5 players all in there. Chris is actually on rank 5. And then Bornefeld a bit further behind, but we will find out. Alright, Anon, fuck, 50 lives. Ah, Bornefeld is red, so he has to type it in. I have to enable the alt chat real quick. Where was it? I might have to do like that. 50 lives. Ok, good. Go, go. Jelechev. Yeah, Bornefeld always, the red player is the one who decides the mode in Line Tower Wars. That's just how it works. So that by default it is the host of the game, right? So now we switched over to the other group. Both groups are playing 2 games. I might have to adjust the camera again. So this is the final game of group 2. And the top 2 will advance. Right now, Dubs is in the lead with 10 points. Then we have, who was it? I think then it was Chris with 7 points, and then Bornefeld with 5, and Wong with 2. So Wong got out first. I did not see the game, so I can only draw assumptions. It might have been Dubs sending into Wong, going really hard and aggressive, or Chris sending into Wong. So now we saw a great variation of techs in the game before. We saw Scorpion from one player, Leviathan from one player, BBQ, and Scorpion from 2 players, and we saw Volt from 1 player, from Term. In this game, my assumption is that Wang is definitely gonna play Scorpion. Bornefeld, I'm not sure, is likely. Chris might play either Scorpion or Glyph, and Dubs might... I'm pretty sure Dubs plays Glyph. So the Glyph tech, I assume, in this group will be much more popular than in the last. Glyph is the second strongest tech, I would say. Oh, what happened? Dubs left the game. Alright. Yeah, Chris said there's no way to play. Alright. I was too carried away with casting. So we rehoused. Okay, Chris, you make. So we take Chris into account a little bit. He is the NA player, and they already had one EU game, so I think it's fair to also have an NA. Even though I said it's EU. But when it's just absolutely unplayable with the ping, it is better to just let him NA host and see how it is. EU players should have like 200 ping on NA games. So it should be possible to play. Let's go referee, create. I hope this is gonna work. Hosted at... no, I'm waiting for Chris, of course. Sorry. Yes, Chris. No, I see my own game. He's typing now. Can I include Discord somehow? Oh, now it popped up. Yes, let's go. Now we are waiting for Bornefeld. Good. Yeah, let's reload with the random spots, because the game ended so early I don't think they found out who is who. It was right in the beginning. Okay, let's go. Hope it's gonna go well now. Good, good. What I was just explaining, I think in this group the Glyph tech will be much more popular. Scorpion is the #1 meta tech right now, because Scorpion is arguably the best, the strongest damage tower, and you already have access to Frost. I should explain how the techs work, by the way, I didn't do that yet. And so I think Glyph is more popular in this group. It is the strongest tech in the early game. And all in all, maybe #2, #3. Oh, here we can see them research. So Unholy, that means Bornefeld is going Glyph. Dubs is going Glyph. Wang is going Scorpion. And Chris has not decided yet. So we see 2 Glyphs already. Now, all these tech researches which we saw here, from the player perspective, you have like an arcane sanctuary here as an icon. You can click that, and then you have all of the techs to select available. And it works like that. You always have the basic tech choice, for example, Fire or Frost or Unholy. And then you have an advanced tech choice. So out of each basic tech, you can build 2 different ultimate towers. For example, for the Unholy tech, now Chris also researched the tech. He also went Scorpion. So we have 2 Scorpion against 2 Glyph. And we can see here Ice plus Earth. So Ice basic plus the Frozen Core advanced tech from Ice is the first 2 techs he went. Each player gets 4 free techs in the beginning. And that gives you access to exactly 1 ultimate tower. That is why I said they play Scorpion or they play Glyph. And how it works is, you have a 200 gold elemental core. That is the first elemental tower you build. You can upgrade it once, just with the basic tech. that means you go to the 800 elemental. Let's say 800 frost, for example. And then with the advanced tech you can upgrade for 4000 gold into its first upgraded version, the 4K version of the tech. And then still with the advanced tech, oh, we see a little bit of lags here. I'm not going to comment too much on the early game skirmishes. So just with the advanced tech you can go up to 10k towers, which is right before the ultimate tower. So for example, Chris has access to the 10k frost tower now, the Icebound Core as it is called. However, he cannot yet make the ultimate frost tower, which is the Lich, because the ultimate tower requires not only the tech itself, but also a corresponding tech from a different base. For example, for Scorpion, which is the most meta tech, you require Earth, the basic Earth, and the advanced Earth from the Virulent Thorn. Plus, on the corresponding side, to complement it, you need the Frost tech. So you need Frost Icebound Core or Lich. And then if you have both these two Earth techs and these two Frost techs, you are able to make that ultimate tower, which is the Scorpion. And with the Glyph, you need the Unholy tech from Unholy, I'm not sure if it's 1 or 2, you need the Unholy tech that becomes Alchemist in its ultimate version. So first it becomes this Plague Well, as we call it, which is the strongest early tech tower, by the way, which is one of the reasons why Glyph is so popular. Here we see the first tech tower already from Wong, which is the Rockfall. That is the Earth tower, which has very slow attack speed and very short range, but it does splash damage and it hits really hard. And it also does a bit of armor penetration when it hits. You just saw that -1 there. So when it hits something, the unit that it hits temporarily has its armor reduced by 1, as you can see here. That's how the Rockfall works. Then we have, for the Glyph tech, we have this Plague Well to start with. That is the strongest tech tower, I would say, early, which is because it has a high range and it does a sort of splash damage and it hits both air and ground. The Rockfall can only hit ground, even when it hits it hard. So the Scorpion tech is a bit vulnerable to air sense early, because the Earth does not hit air, but the Plague Well does. And now you can see the corresponding tech to Plague Well. In this case is the Electro tech, the Shock Particle. And from this Shock Particle is actually where we get the ultimate tower, Glyph. So we have the 200 Shock Particle, it turns into the 800 Power Generator, and then it turns into the 4K, and then into the 10K, Storm Conductor, I believe, and eventually it becomes the 30K, the Glyph Tower. And the way this tower combination is very interesting. The reason why it is the strongest in the early game is because we have the Plague Tower, or the Defiled Fountain here, which is the very good splash tower with range against air and against ground. And then we have the Shock Particle, which is very short range but extremely high damage against air and ground. So the bulk of the small creeps you kill with this tower, and the few very big strong creeps, especially the boss creeps, you kill with this tower. On the other side here, oh, we see a big offense from Chris into Wong. Wong is struggling a bit to defend this, he must panic, look at how quickly he builds his maze, just so that these few units don't leak. Now he needs to quickly get the Earth Towers, and he just was able to make a hold. Very good Wong, nice clutch hold in the back. We see all the Earth Towers from Wong here, but none of the Frost Towers. So the corresponding tech to Scorpion is the Frost, so he already has access to Frost. Chris, on the other side, he already made a Frost Tower. Do we see something here? Yes, we see a big send from Dubs into Bornefeld with Shades. And Bornefeld is leaking quite a few of those shades. He's down to 42 lives, and Dubs is already significantly up in income, you could say, and down in mace value, which is because he has the easiest early game hold. So the idea behind the glyph tech is you want to get a bit of an advantage early, because you can defend so efficiently that you can carry this income lead later, even when the Scorpion tech might become a bit stronger. And with the Scorpion tech, you might fall behind a little bit early, but it will become a lot stronger later. Now we can see Chris attacking Wong, and Wong responding right away, and he's not messing around, he's upgrading big time here. And what Chris does, who is also on the Scorpion tech by the way, so that is advantageous for Wong, but what Chris brings now is the boss creep send. Every tier has a boss unit at the end, which is one single extremely strong creep. And Chris just saved his gold up to, he didn't actually save up, but he just sent 4 of those in a row, which is very hard for the native Scorpion towers to defend. Wong will have to upgrade in the back of his maze some of those archer towers to make a hold. So he has to hold without using the tech towers. He actually has to upgrade the basic towers to make a somewhat clean hold. Oh, maybe what I said isn't actually true. Wong is not, he's not thinking about upgrading those, he just keeps adding more earth towers to get it down, which is also a decent choice, especially when you want to be preserving your APM a little. Wong is by far the oldest player, he is rank 3 on the leaderboard, so extremely good, but he's not the highest APM player, so he's more about smart decisions and deadly sends in game. So you have to be afraid of Wong when he is your sender a bit more than when you're sending into him, in my experience. But also he finds very efficient ways to defend that don't require all that APM, you know, that might need you to sell more towers and build them again. He just builds it as he wants it in the end from the start, to save some time, even when it might not be the very best on the income. And now why did I say Wong was a bit lucky for Chris? It is because in this dynamic that we have here, Scorpion into Glyph, into Scorpion. What is good is if a Glyph player can send early into a Scorpion player, because then he can exploit his weakness while he himself is defending still the most efficiently. But instead we have distribution of a Scorpion player sending into another Scorpion player, and that is why I said it's good for Wong. On the other side, Bornefeld sending into Chris might become difficult for Chris on the paper, but in reality it is not, because Dubs isn't fooling around. He is sending hard into Bornefeld, getting him down significantly in income already, because Dubs himself is also playing Glyph, so he also has an easy time defending, so he makes an effort to overwhelm Bornefeld here. So for Bornefeld, in order to hang on, he has to ramp up his mace value massively, and he had to do so earlier in the game already, so he's significantly down in income. Now Wong got a bit of a breathing room again, but he had to upgrade his mace value massively, and he has one 10k Virulent Thorn here. This is his strongest tower by far. This one costs 200 gold, this one 1000 in total, and this one 15,000, so it's much stronger than the others. And the reason is, with Scorpion tech, what matters a lot is your first Scorpion. You don't want to get like a lot of 4k towers or a lot of 10k towers. No, you want to get that first Scorpion as early as possible, because the window where Scorpion is weak is before you get the first Scorpion. Once you have it, it is really good. So Chris, when he wants to find his window to pressure Wong, he already had to do it, which he did with a relatively heavy tier 1 send. Oh, actually Bornefeld found a nice way to steal some lives from Chris, which is the Void Walkers. Those can be really annoying, especially when you have a lot of basic towers, as Chris has in the back here. Oh, he just said hello Dubs. And Dubs is actually attacking Bornefeld a little, But Barnefeld seems to hold it, no, not so bad. He already has one glyph. Well, he had to up his mace value crazy high. So Barnefeld, he said hello Dubs, because he knew that center is Dubs, who is going so hard on him. And even though Barnefeld was able to steal some lives from Chris back, which with the Voidwalker scent, which was pretty cool admittedly, he got down in income even more through that. Because as we remember, the strong creeps, the more expensive creeps, might be harder to defend, more likely to steal lives, but they are less income efficient. So just spamming cheap creeps is better for your income. And now Barnefeld was sending the expensive creeps to steal some lives, and at the same time he had to up his mace value like crazy in order to not die, you know? And so he's down even harder in income because of that, as a result of that. And also Chris is also bringing a big send into Wong now, but it is a bit too late to be good, I would say. Ideally, you want to hit the Scorpion player before he gets that Scorpion. Once he has it, he will defend it. Now Wong's choice of defending Chris' ascent was get one Scorpion, which is an extremely strong single tower, and get a ton of the basic anti-air towers. There is one basic tower which you can upgrade from the Sentinel into the Rocketeer, and this tower hits only air, so it is a very good anti-air tower. And then he upgraded it further into the 1k version, the Barrager, or the Barrager, I don't know how to pronounce it. So Wong has a big chunk of anti-air towers plus one Scorpion, and this is how he holds everything. And now I just see Dubs stealing a ton of life from Barnefeld. He did give him the big Dragon Spawn scent, which is a timing when the Glyph tech is actually weak. So Glyph had the strongest early game, but the early game is over. Now we're deep into tier 2. Now you can start hurting Glyph with a big scent of those Dragon Spawn units, combined with some auras. You know, there are units that give an armor aura, you can see here, +1, and units that give a speed aura. You can see here this, the endurance aura. And Dubs is always, he's very good at income spamming because he has high APM, and he makes even his income spam hurt by just throwing in a bit of the cheap aura units all of the time, so that even the other units, they get both the cheap armor and the cheap speed aura, which is really good. But when he actually wants to bring a dedicated scent, he brings this aura, which is the tier 2 speed aura, and the turtle. We might have already seen the turtle, here just died one. Here is a turtle, this is the tier 2's armor aura. So the big tier 2 scent consists of a bit of this for speed, a bit of turtle for armor, and a lot of Dragon Spawn, because this is the very fast unit that is also pretty tanky. It is pretty hard to kill in tier 2. And then when it gets to the end of the maze, you want to pair it up with the air send on top to steal. Now Dubs, he's not letting go of Barnefeld. He's making a definite deal here, and so he's already deep into the Banshee scent, which is the big air wave that comes at the end of tier 2. Those are some of the most dangerous scents, or the Banshee scents. Now in this stage we are at now, Glyph starts becoming weaker, but it is still a very strong tech, make no mistake about that. And around this tech, around this stage, around 200k, you can say, is the time when you want to keep advancing your tech. After the first 4 initial techs you get for free when you start the game, you can keep buying additional techs. But each additional tech you buy costs a lot of gold. The first one costs 50k, and then it keeps ramping up. The second one costs 100k, the third one 150k, and you always add 50,000 gold to the cost of the last one. The very last tech you buy costs more than 1 million, like that. It's 30 techs in total, you can do the math. So Glyph tech, which consisted of electric and plague, was now supplemented with the frost tech by Dubs. And he's just broadly filling in those 800 frost towers throughout the entire maze, so that whatever comes through here gets slowed by 30% already, which is a smart choice. Now you might ask, how can you advance the Scorpion tech? And one thing about the Scorpion tech is it is so strong, you can stick to the Scorpion tech a little longer. You can even at this stage still only be on the Scorpion tech, and because you have Frost natively, it is still decent. But I think it is not the good thing to do. Chris actually does it how I would do it, which is you want to tech early into Beastmaster, which is the Savage tech. So those Savages here, that's the 4K, they charge up over time, up until they have 1200 experience, you can say, and they charge up while they are hitting something. So the ones in the back are much harder to charge, because they're not always hitting. So when you go for the Savage tech, you actually want all of the units to run to the back of your maze, so you can charge up the Savages in the back. And why is that so important? It is important because of what might come next, which is the big tier 3 sense. In tier 3, players can start saving up massively in gold. Right now, I don't see it yet. Dubs doesn't have to, because he knows he's gonna get Bornefeld eventually, he's so far down. And the others just try to focus on defending, which I think is right in this particular situation. So that Savage tech sets you up for defending the really hard sense, because you get the Beastmasters. And when you have the Beastmasters fully charged, as those right here, they start sending out Kodos or War Beasts towards the Beastmaster that is the furthest away. Every 12 hits, I believe. So right now there are only 3 Beastmasters here that are very close together, so the Kodos just run back and forth between each other, which is not efficient at all. But it doesn't matter, because there is no big send. As soon as Bornefeld will want to bring a big send, Chris, now he upgrades those. Chris eventually starts to upgrade the Beastmasters further back, and then the Kodos will run like that, as you can see. And they deal massive damage to everything in their path. And they also stun the units for quite some time. So this is going to be extremely good for holding the big sends, which is why Chris teched it so early and started charging it up so early. Wang on the other side decided that he has to catch back up in the income, so he's still only on the Scorpion tech. He didn't tech yet, which means that he didn't have to spend the gold for the tech, which is about 200k, you can say. So he could spend that into income, but Chris is actually sending the big tanks now into Wang. And for Wang to defend this, he has to up all of his cannon towers, which are a basic defense tower, into the ultimate. And Wang was quick in his response, so he was just barely able to defend, but he still has a hole in his maze. And Chris uses this hole now in order to stream the big strong units through. Now here we can see a tier 3 send. It is not the strongest one, not the most dedicated one, but Chris knows that he is set up so nicely with the Beastmasters, and whatever Bornefeld could send, he is going to defend it, because he is down in income himself, so that Chris now has time for the offense. So he opened with a lot of tanks, even a bit too much for my taste, and supplemented it with the big tier 3 send. And now he's sending the air units on top of it for all of it to line up in the end. But Wang, who is playing a different maze shape from what we saw before, by the way, is defending, I don't want to say well, because he lost 14 lives. Well, let's see. The problem for Wang is those shamans, because Wang has not teched yet. He doesn't have many different attack types, and the shamans, if they are attacked by the same type, so by magic and normal over and over again, they get a lot of resistance. And Chris was able to abuse that. Wang basically has all of the same towers in his maze like that, and he was able to abuse it even more with the Crypt Fiends, who are not so strong by themselves, but they have the skittering trait, which means they are always targeted last, like the spiders from tier 1, you might remember. So because of that, even the weak spiders got through, because Wang was not able to manually target them down quickly enough. So Wang down 28 lives. So actually before it looked like Bornefeld might drop out first, which still looks like that clearly because he's down so hard on income, but Wang is under big pressure too now, because 30, that's danger zone. So Wang himself was forced to make a dangerous send. I wasn't able to catch it from the beginning, but I knew something has to happen. So now Wang starts stealing from Dubs, who is on 8.5 million mace value, and as you can see, the units keep streaming in and streaming in. And Dubs keeps upgrading Glyph like crazy to hold it, which is not ideal, because in the final maze you don't want those Glyphs. You still want those Scorpions for the most part. Another reason why Scorpion is good. But the Glyphs you want to replace eventually. So it's important to be high APM to actually get to your final maze from Glyph tech. So Wang was able to steal some good lives back and finally put some good pressure into Dubs, who's the favorite player, remember. So, but because Dubs had such a big income lead already, he is still in the lead. But it is not so huge. He's getting closer to the field, you could say. But because his mace value is so high now, Dubs is actually free himself to bring a big send into Bornefeld if he wanted to. But it doesn't look like he wants to. Dubs instead keeps focusing on upgrading. He is getting all of the different techs now, because we are already closing in on 23 minutes. Remember, at 26 minutes, the sudden death starts. So initially, in its broad terms, your final maze wants to be assembled, unless you are playing a kamikaze style, which Wang absolutely is. Wang knows he's not gonna take home this lobby. He's not gonna win it by the way how it looks right now. So he goes for what we call a minimal maze. And the minimal maze just wants to have all of the necessary boxes checked, which is high damage from the Scorpion, high slow from the Lich, and high armor penetration from the crystals. In tier 3, armor penetration starts becoming very important, because the units keep having more and more armor. So if you don't have armor pen, they just keep walking through. That is why we see all of the players having those crystals here for armor penetration, and also the Ancient Wardens here, which is the other ultimate tech from Earth. Those only hit ground, but they are very good at defending. They are the best against attacking creeps, which is why in the front of the maze we see Ancient Wardens here. Not yet here, they are not replaced yet, but here we see the 10k version of them, and here we also see the 10k version of them. So 3 or 4 players are ready against the big attack already. And now it is Dubs who brings a gigantic send into Bornefeld. This send is supposed to end Bornefeld. I can tell you because he is sending the worms, which is the tier 4 unit already, so the sudden death unit. Those worms, they give 0 income to Dubs. They are just all about stealing lives and tanking so much damage that the tier 3 units behind them get through. And Bornefeld, he just got a massive stun from the Beastmaster's last minute, killing a lot more units. I think this Beastmaster stun just made Bornefeld survive. If that Kodo didn't just connect with the entire sand in the back here, Bornefeld would be dead. But because he was able to emergency halt with the Beastmaster, he survived. So good job Bornefeld, he will save himself into sudden death. So props to that. However, he is far away from assembling his final maze. You realize they are playing for the final maze when they get the Orb Keepers, which are really good against Shredders, which is the final unit. Chris has 0 Orb Keepers yet, so he is also emergency transforming all of that. But he knows he has... he shouldn't know he has time, because Dubs is under so much pressure he wants to steal. But his income is so low that he will not get the big sudden death sent anytime soon. So good job on Chris, who can himself focus now on getting the early kill on Wang. But Wang doesn't have that on his mind. He is all about getting a minimal maze to defend everything until sudden death, so that he can get himself the huge send into Dubs, which he gets right now. But Dubs, being very strong player that he is, has almost his entire maze assembled at sudden death already. He might leak those behemoths, which are the boss units from tier 3, so he leaks some units, and Wang steals some lives back, so kudos to him. He might also leak that one, just barely it got killed. But good job on Wang for the big pre-sudden death send, because Wang, he's not gonna transition this ever. He's not even getting the technology discs, it's just too much APM. Instead he focuses on the big sends to keep stealing from Dubs, and he's actually doing a really good job, because Dubs was not able to smoothly transition into his final maze while having the huge send from Wang in. That is why Dubs is losing so many lives now, because he had to keep replacing his towers all the way through Wang, sending big into him. And now Wang, still not caring even a little bit about his maze, because he keeps it all the way how it is, already brings the first sudden death send. You can recognize it by the statues. But my prediction is that sudden death send is not gonna do much, because even though this send by game design has to steal, Dubs' maze is so damn good and it is so damn ready. Dubs has the entire maze ready, you can say, that he is focusing all on micro now. And now let's see how far these shredders get, and then eventually you get the worms on top. The easy explanation on the sudden death send is you send a lot of the slow statues first that debuff the towers around them a little. Then you send goblin shredders with the Kodo behind it, because the Kodo is a double aura unit from sudden death. It gives armor and speed at the same time. And then you send the big worms on top. Now Dubs got Bornefeld killed, which was to be expected, which is why I was not so much on top of it. But instead what I wonder more is, how well does Dubs defend Wang's early sudden death send? And Wang is stealing a good chunk, so Wang is playing his cards really nicely. He is stealing 35 lives. So even though Dubs' maze was pretty much ready, Dubs received the perfect sudden death send, you could say, which is why he is down hard now in maze value. However, Chris is now receiving the sudden death send from Dubs, which is also gonna be hard for him to defend. But Chris is also ready. His maze is like, I would say 98% ready. So he's also gonna hold it. He's not gonna die from this, but he's gonna lose like 30 to 35 lives. And Chris himself gets the sudden death send into Wang now. And we know Wang never even had the intention to defend this. And that is why you see the units leaking at full lives now. Because you need like the perfect maze to hold it somewhat well and still leak. So Wang, who didn't make an effort to build the perfect maze, just knew he was gonna leak all of that. And instead he was focused on stealing as much from Dubs as possible, which was the right strategic decision, I would say. And now it is between Chris and Dubs. And it looks like this might be Chris's game to win. Chris right now I think is number 5 on the leaderboard, so also very highly placed, very good sudden death. Dubs is number 1 with arguably the best sudden death, and he is stealing a ton of lives back now. Now we knew Chris was not gonna die, but I said he's gonna lose like 35 lives, and as it turns out he's gonna lose 48. So all of a sudden the lives completely switched around again. Before it was Dubs who was almost dead, but he had his big send already into Chris's maze, and he knew that was gonna steal. So that's exactly what happens. And now they are almost even. And Chris, he thinks his ticket to victory is he has to keep sacrificing lives to go above 4 million income. At 4 million income it is capped usually. No matter how much you keep sending, you don't go above 4 million. But you can sacrifice some lives every 30 seconds or so to get 100,000 more income cap. So then you can go up to 4.1. And Chris sacrificed lives twice so that he can go up to 4.2 now. And his hope now is that even when his sudden death mace might be like 1 or 2% worse than Dubs's, he can still win it with the higher income maybe. But Dubs is he keeps upgrading his mace value, which basically happens with the technology disc in the late game. Once all of the 30k towers have been assembled in the perfect place, you can only keep upgrading your technology discs for more value. So you have the tier 1 discs, which you only see here, which is the holy disc, which is not upgraded. And then you have the tier, this costs 2500. Then you upgrade it to tier 2, which is 250k. So it's a huge difference, and the benefit you get on top of the tier 1 disc is relatively small. And then you can upgrade the tier 3 disc, which costs 1.5 million. And the thing is, in the end, every little tiny percent is worth it to just get your mace a little bit better, so that it can just hold the final cent a little bit better. And that is what Dubs is banking on here. So he went up to 36 million mace value, which is almost as good as Chris 30 million, but just a little bit better. But Chris has more income, so this is really how they are matching up now. And now the rhythm also matters. So Chris is now stealing from Dubs, his send is now over, and Chris chose to go for a more worm heavy send. So his shredder send was a bit smaller, and his worm send a bit bigger. And Dubs does not change the send, he keeps going for the shredder heavy send, hoping that he will kill Chris now. I think this is gonna be the GG send. But in case they're already very low, you can see their combined life total gets lower and lower. Because at every income tick, every 10 seconds in sudden death, every player loses 1 life automatically. So this is where Chris will die now. GG! He could try to steal it with the worms, but Dubs was ready. So very good game. Dubs winning both game 1 and game 2 here, so congratulations to him. And let me quickly adjust the points. I will try to show it again, so that you guys see what's going on. So let's adapt that. We have Dubs on 20 now, so he is secured first. And we have Chris on 14, so he is secured second. And then we have Wang in third with 7, and Bornefeld also. So Wang and Bornefeld are tied on third position, and Dubs and Chris will advance to the final group. Ranking wise, Wang is ahead of Chris, so it was a bit of an upset, you could say, but not too much, because Chris is an extremely strong player, especially his sudden death. And of course at that level the positioning matters a lot. And Wang had the most difficult position here. He was sending into Dubs, who is extremely good at defending, and he was sent by Chris, who is an extremely aggressive sender. So his decision to go for the kamikaze mace was absolutely correct. And he still got to sudden death, and he still stole big from Dubs, getting him pretty low, which was a very good decision. But Dubs played it so well, and he had the lives from Bornefeld, which he knew he will get eventually, because he got him down in income soon. So he could bank on getting those lives from Bornefeld when he needs them, which is how he played. And like that he was able to leverage out the victory. And Bornefeld, I also have to give him some credit for defending Dubs, which is extremely hard, of course. So he was also sandwiched between 2 top 5 players. Bornefeld being like a top 15 player, I would say. Okay, so much for the groups. Now let me quickly check how it went in group 2. I will post it into the tournament chat. Oh, Coffee is game 1, game 2. He already put it in there. Thank you very much, Coffee. So we have game 2 from the other group. I'm already getting an invite. I suppose that is to the final lobby. Very nice. Thank you very much, Silver. So they're already set. Oh, whoa, whoa. No, 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 no. No, no. Wait. They wanted to play the game as quickly as possible, but they have to redo it. Really. Ah, I see. I understand. Okay, go, go. So I wasn't able to catch up with the second group, but as it turns out, there is a tie for second place between Term and Silver. Let me ask him. Quickly. Ready whenever. You want to cast a tiebreaker with me? Cool. Will do. All right. So as it turns out, group number 2, which we are going in here right now, was won by Woi, and Term was second last time, and I assume he got third in the second game, and Silver got second in the second game, and he was third in the game before, right? Let me just quickly check that if it's correct. Yes, and BBQ got 4th in both games, so he's out with 4 points. And now, since they have both 12 points, Silver and Term, the tournament rules say they will play a 1v1 tiebreaker on Mirror Draft. Unfortunately, I did not see what text they had as a choice, but 1v1 is a different beast, you could almost say. It follows like a bit different rules. The sending is much more aggressive, so it's also interesting to cast, I would say. Now Silver, you can see here with the Ultra skin and the super wings, you get those wings only if you win a tournament. So in the 1v1 he can be flexing a little, because there it is not anonymous. When it is anonymous, everybody has the basic builder skin, so you don't know who is who. But in 1v1 it doesn't matter, of course. And also, Silver chose to open, I think, by holding his first send and sending a double send right from the get-go. You will see a lot more of the people in 1v1 saving up beyond when they do in the FFA, just to get such a big send into their opponent that they have to move heaven and hell to defend it. And this is what Silver is doing with Term here right over again. He's bringing a huge Skelly send, and Term for some reason has a hole here. I don't know why, but that's actually hurting him. So Term already down 93 lives. I should also say Silver is favored over Term by ranking. Term is a bit ahead of Bornefeld in the ranking, I believe, and Silver is significantly ahead. He's like number 4 on the ranking, I believe. Also extremely strong sudden death, but also one of the best 1v1 player. So the tiebreaker 1v1, my money is on Silver, you can see. But also Term is starting to steal some lives. The problem is Term does not have so many recent games, so it might be a bit harder for him to adapt to the 1v1 rhythm And the 1v1 rhythm is just so much more aggressive. You can also see it with the spider sand from Silver, and it already starts to feel a little bit like Term is running after the game. So whenever Silver brings the big send, Term tends to do the same send just later. And of course that is not ideal. You have to do some sort of judo flip to get back to it. Now Silver has the Blackwell. They can both research their tech. Okay, so the tournament rules set, it is going to be mirror draft in the 1v1 unless both players agree to a different mode. So here they still keep playing best tech. So Silver is playing Glyph, I assume. I'm only seeing the Blackwell, but I assume it's Glyph. Just based on seeing that, it could be 4 different ultimate techs. It could be either Glyph, or Alchemist, or Gravedigger, or let me see if I get number 4, or let's see, maybe Coffee can write me number 4, I forgot it right now. And off of the fire you can go either into Moonbeam, into Titan Vault, into Fire Lord, or into the Druid, the Primal tech, or the Savage tech. Yes, I think Jaina is... yes, Voy is typing this. It could be Alchemist. Yes, the Alchemist tech or the Glyph tech is both possible still. But I'm pretty sure it is Volt against Glyph, that's just my guess. Because Term was playing Volt in the first game, and I'm not sure about Silver, he was playing Scorpion. But he can play many different techs. So on the 1v1 he chooses to play Glyph because it is so strong in the early game. And now Silver is bringing a huge tier 1 send where he mixes up the grunts, which have a very high base regeneration. You can see when they just keep walking through, they regenerate all of their hit points again. So you want to kill them all at once. And he's mixing the grunts up with the big air send on top. So Term, he's running after the game a bit, as I said. But of course, again, you have to adapt to the 1v1 rhythm. It is so hard. And Silverthorn is playing the strongest early tech. So it is in a way natural that Term is under more pressure. But if Term saves himself into the later stages, he can come back. But what is important is that Term doesn't let Silver run away with the game in the early game stages. And that means Term has to bring some big offense himself now. Right now, Silver is holding in a very convenient way, which is he has 2 of the Defiled Fountains. That is the tech which costs 1000 gold in total. 200 for the basic elemental tower, and then you upgrade it with 100. And you see Term does not want him to get away with this, because he sends the boss tier 1 unit, which is ideal against this setup from Silver. So Silver has to react to it now with the shock particles that do such high single target damage on short range. So they are ideal to kill the boss unit, which is again why Glyph is the strongest 1v1 tech, because you have the high splash damage and the high single target damage. And Silver is combining it nicely here. So now that Silver has defended, he might go back on the offense. In the 1v1, it tends to swing back and forth a little. You have one guy defending, one guy offense, and then you have one guy, the other guy on the offense, and person number 1 on the defense again. However, when their rhythm syncs up, because the game is perfectly even, when no one is really ahead, you can have both guys on the offense and the defense at the same time. And then that is when it gets extremely chaotic, because both will be leaking and not really caring and stacking big sands on top of it and so on and so forth. So now Silver, he is not sending the boss creeps because they are not income efficient at all. Instead he chooses a mixture of the priest and the mud golem, which is very strong. So the mud golem have fortified armor. That means they take reduced damage from the piercing here, and the priests, they regen everything around them. So now Silver, after having brought that big tier 1 cent, he doubles it up with a big tier 2 cent, while he is having an easy time defending again, because Term is under pressure again. Boy says it nicely, he needs more AoE at the front. He will struggle to defend this, but he's actually doing a good job, because the big early tier 2 cent is not so threatening for Term, because because he has the light flies that do very good piercing damage, and that is good against the vengeful spirits he just sent. So Term did a pretty decent job defending this, I would say, but you can see him significantly down on income already, and Silver will now try to leverage this as good as possible, because you can see his mace value is almost the same, because he upgraded a Reaper already. That comes from this tower. This is the 4K version. And what is special about this tower is it charges up in a way that its damage increases. So whenever this tower gets a kill, up to 50, its damage always increases a little. And he has it fully charged already, so he is ready for the big send from Term, which is the big Troll Berserker send here. But Term is trying to overwhelm him a little bit, and it actually seems to work. So Silver had to up it into the 10k version already. And now Term tries to send air on top of it, which also looks pretty nice. And so Term is gonna steal some lives now. Oh, Silver is trying to last minute build them here. It repaths it a little bit, but we're gonna count it because this was not intentional. He just tried to make the path longer. But Term did deal some good lives now, so kudos to him. And now it's Silver's turn again. And Silver knows all of the techs really well. And so he sees a Vault tech, and he knows I'm gonna wait for the Void Walkers, and then I'm gonna send a lot of them. And now Term is under pressure to deal with the Void Walker send, and for that he would need to upgrade this tower into an even more advanced version. That is the 4K Vault, and he needs the 10k Vault, and he has it back here already. That is good. You can see Term is choosing prime locations for his most expensive towers, which is right in the middle here between two boxes, also here between two boxes, so that they have as much hitting time as possible. That is really good. But Silver's send is simply so good that there's no way for Term to hold it. He would have to up his mace value a ridiculous amount, and Term chooses to leak it instead, because he just cannot hold it. And he cannot bring an offense into it again himself. And now what Silver does is, in 1v1, when you leak a unit, because there is no other player, the unit goes back to the beginning of your maze. And so Silver, when he saw Term was gonna leak big time, he was getting ready on top of his maze again, for that when the units leak, he sends the big save sent right on top of it again. So he sent turtles as soon as those Void Walkers leaked. And that means that some of those Void Walkers might actually leak a second time, which is crazy. So this is the stage where the Vault tech is the weakest. And as you can see, Silver, who already worked out a bit of an advantage in the early game, he's now absolutely pouncing on it. And Term, he is trying to do the best to preserve his income, so that he doesn't fall behind too much. So he's really between a rock and a hard place now. He has to prioritize correctly between not over defending so hard that he's so much down in income that he just dies, but at the same time, that he just dies later on, I should say, but at the same time, he may not lose too many lives, and he may not up his mace value too much. But really, what I think is, he lost too many lives. You can just not put it any other way. It is 161 to 39. So Silver, he's like a dog who had bitten something and he's not letting loose. He keeps pouncing and pouncing. And of course the pressure, the only way for Term to reduce that pressure is by bringing a big sand himself, which he did. He brought the big dragon spawn sand, and Silver had to defend it by upping his mace value even more than Term did, because Silver is not in the strong spot for the glyph tech anymore. This is the stage where with a big amount of dragon spawns, you can actually steal lives from Glyph Tech. Unless he gets more glyphs and defends it still very well. But this is where Term can steal. Actually, I would wait even a little bit longer. But of course, Term had to make something happen, so he had to bring the big sand. So kudos to Term. He might be down in life hard, but after the dust has settled, his income is still okay-ish, and his base value is even above Silver's. So he is not completely out yet. But Term keeps bringing the big sands. But Term now has an ultimate Titan Vault, which is extremely strong, especially against dragon spawns. And also the 10k meteor behind it, the Armageddon, which does very high splash damage. So Term's setup now looks pretty good. He has weathered the storm from Silver for now, but he's down in income pretty hard because he had to upgrade and upgrade his mace value, and Silver's units still keep running far, but that is actually good. That shows that Term is defending somewhat efficiently. Silver still wants to hurt him, and Term is letting it get to the back but not leaking, which is efficient defense. So they are not so much different in income. And now is the time where I would suggest for Term to really bring the big sand. So he wants to... I would start saving up now if I was Term at least once, and then bring a lot of like real masses of dragons. How are they called again? The 15k unit that is very fast, the dragon spawn. He needs to get real masses of those now. And then he lets them go to the bottom and he stacks it up with the banshees on top. Because at this income stage you can already get some good banshee waves. This would force Silver to upgrade heavily. But Silver, he knows the next stage where Term is weak and he couldn't wait for it. Which is as soon as the tier 2 boss unit unlocks, the Infernals. And the thing with the Ultimate Titan Vault is, it is good against these dragon spawns, but it hits 8 or 10 units at once. So it is not good against the single boss unit. So what Term needs is he needs to cover his entire field with the fire technology discs. Because whenever a single unit steps on that disc, it loses a percentage of his health. And I actually have to give massive credits to Term for almost holding that send here. And now what Silver does is he sends the banshees on top of it, but the banshees are a bit too late. Ideally they would come, they would stack up together, but they came a bit too late. And Term chose to defend just one, to upgrade just one tech, which is the light shrooms. And I agree with Dubs. It is a very safe option to hold the big air safe, just so you don't die, because those banshee waves, you can leak them big time. But it was too expensive, and the problem is, it exposes him too much for what is about to come. Because Term should care more about, you know, getting crystal, but at the same time, the crystal tech gets enabled by the light shroom tech. So in turn you could say it was not the worst decision. He just got the light shroom first. And next I'm 99% sure he will get the crystals for the armor pen and some more slow. But for now, Term wants to get his big sand into Silver. And one unit that the Glyph tech is very weak against is the Crypt Fiends. So Term is doing the right thing in banking up big time and then sending all of those Crypt Fiends in. And he is stealing very well from Silver now, who teched up the Frost tech first, which is right. Now what Term should do is stack right on top of those Crypt Fiend leaks. The problem is, when the Crypt Fiends are alone, they are still not so good. You need to supplement them with some more chunk units, and also some aura units, and also some air on top. Then they are the most dangerous. But it's easier said than done, of course, because Silver has already saved up for the next big tier 3 send. You can see all of those sends in 1 versus 1 hit a lot earlier than they hit in the FFA. Just because you want to bring them so early that it's almost impossible for the opponent to defend. But Term is again doing a really good job. He's defending almost all, just leaking 2 Crypt Fiends at the very end here. The problem is, with that big offense, Silver took the pressure off of him again. So in that stage where he is actually the weakest, he was able to get such a big offense in turn going that he had to defend it, and then he was not under pressure himself. Now, the juicy play from Term would have been, I know it's harder said than done, to accept some more leaks just to ensure that he gets the big send back to Silver, so that in terms of rhythm he is not running after the game all of the time anymore. He did have some good comebacks, he stabilized it well. Now Term brings the big Spirit Walker send, and the reason why this is so good is because Term had concentrated his mace value in the back to just get those emergency holds. And the Spirit Walkers, it works like that. The longer they are in the maze, the stronger they become. They heal each other when they are next to each other, and they charge up each other's armor. So in the beginning you can kill them more easily, in the end it becomes almost impossible. And Silver saw that Term had almost all of his mace value in the back, so he sent the big Spirit Walker wave to let them charge up. So again, a very smart offensive choice. But I have to give it to Term, he kept stabilizing it. But what has not stabilized is Term's income. Now Term chose to save up for an early Griffin Rider send, which is a smart choice, I would say. Silver will leak a lot of that. He was able to get away with such a low mace value that now he has to find a way to hold this Griffin, and he chooses to do it with Mass Glyph, which actually works against a smaller amount of Griffins, and he has the 10k Frost Tower. So Term is leaking, he is stealing a little bit, but again, as it happened, he is not stealing so much as Silver does. Alright, yeah, this is GG. But very nice job, Term. You know, Silver got you from the beginning, as was his plan, but you did not succumb to the pressure. You kept hanging in there, so credits to Term also. But of course Silver had the perfect game plan for 1v1, I would say, choosing the strong tech early and never letting go on the pressure, so that Term cannot get the big offense into him when he would be weak theoretically. So Silverthorn won the Deciders match, and that means that we will now move over to the final lobby that consists of Woi, Chris, Dobbs and Silverthorn, which is, in terms of ranking of the leaderboard right now, the number 1, 2, 4 and 5 player, I believe. With Wang also having been in the tournament at number 3. So that is extremely good. I will already host the final group, but we will take a short break. I would say we will have a 5-minute break at least, and then I will be back for the final. Let's see, referees and create. I will just I want to sleep but want to watch Coffee Nest. Ah, cool thing. I have muted myself. Okay, I'll be right back, and I hope everything gets sorted out. Ah, Alright, I'm back. Now let me hop into the call with Wimp. Unmute that stuff. Okay, hello Wimp, can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Very nice, yes. You should also be...
Here we go.
Yes, you're also on the stream, very nice.
Yep.
So let me just make a ready check. First of all, do we have the 4 correct players? Yes, we do.
Silver,
Podcasters
Chris,
are in
Dubs, and
here.
Wui.
Alright, ready
Yeah.
check. Oh, I'm glad I have you here, man. I enjoyed it.
Bro.
I enjoyed it very much casting, but my voice is not made for talking hours on end, especially when I'm hyped.
It's exhausting, isn't it?
Yeah.
Now that's one of the reasons that I stopped before streaming is because it's a lot more exhausting than people think. Just constantly talking with chat,
Oh, definitely.
paying attention to the game.
I
Right.
have-
All right. Do you have any technical issues and whatnot?
Yeah, that also. I have 0 chat interaction, so I have to just bloat that one out, and then it works a bit better. Okay, everybody ready? Chris, Silver, Dubs, Voi, also ready. Okay, let's go.
Bro, finale. Holy
Yeah.
shit. Here we go.
And we have the player number 1, rank 1, 2, 3, no, 1, 2, 4, and 5 from the leaderboard.
Oh shit.
So
Who's
that's
3?
3 is Wong, who is observing, and 6 am I, who's also observing. So that's pretty stacked lobby. And because of that, they chose to play a different mode than what was initially intended, which is going to be also more interesting for the viewer. Before, the tournament was set up as best tech, so you can choose whatever you want. But the big boy mode, so to say, is either random tech or draft tech. And what they choose now is mirror draft, as you can see here. So at the beginning of the game, the players will have 3 techs to choose from. They each have the same techs to choose from to make it balanced, and then they have to play one of these.
Okay, so for I thought it was they all had the same tech, which would be basically even playing field. But I like the small draft, so they pick from 3 different draft and they choose which one they think is best. I kind of like that.
I think Chris's ping is just unplayable. 300 already.
Okay, can restart.
Well,
That's fine.
Let's see. Well, if all players agree, we can play both games NA, but only if they all agree.
Where's Chris from, anyways?
Chris is from the US. I think he might actually be close to you. He should also be East Coast.
If he's East Coast, it wouldn't make
But I'm
sense.
not
It should
sure.
be like 60 to 80
Yeah,
ping.
he might be at the West Coast right now. And
Because Wui is West Coast as well, so
yes.
Wui and Chris should have the same ping.
I think
no?
it also depends on your connection. Like Wui might have a lot better internet than Chris. I also noticed this. My ping instantly dropped as soon as I got the new cable. But alright, let's host an NA lobby.
Everyone left?
I think so. I saw Silver or Dubs left, so we cannot play the game without them, of course. But really, it's up to the players to decide. I think it would be the most fair, because it is 2 players, EU2 NA, to have both times switch the region up. One lobby on U, one on NA. But of course, when they all have, we have to adjust it a little bit. We're a small community after all. And when one player just has an insanely high ping, I understand if they want to play both lobbies on
No,
NA.
it's fine. Like we're gonna be understanding. It's fine. Like small tournament, small community. Like we'll help each other out, right?
Yeah, that's right. But at the end of the day, everybody has to agree because there's also some cash on the line now. So I can totally see if one would be like, well, I don't want to disadvantage myself even more than would be fair in that sense. But yeah.
Lobby's hosted, by the way. Come, we're waiting for you.
Oh, sorry.
We're waiting for you. So
on my way.
Nice. Yeah, continue. Sorry.
Good. Ready, check. That is also, for example, why we capped the lobby size, because some people have a worse PC. Okay. Let's see. Silver, Chris, Dubs, Woi is still missing. That is also okay. Go.
Nice.
Why we capped the lobby size, because some people with a worse PC, their FPS drops down to like single-digit numbers in the later stages of the game. If there are more than 4 players, it becomes almost unplayable.
Yeah, then that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay, let's see.
All right, so you did say we're going to be playing Minor Draft. I'll try to record upload this on a second channel.
Yes,
so we have Minor Draft essentially is 3 texts that they pick from, correct?
It's called Mirror Draft because mirror in the sense that they all have the same choice to pick from.
So 3 choices. It could be like Scorpion, it could be...
Yes.
Oh, I see.
And
Okay.
that is what
nice.
we see now. They can choose, and you can quickly see what everybody researches. Chris went Glyph, Silver went Glyph, Woi went Glyph, and guess what? Dubs went Glyph. And that is for the very simple reason that Glyph is by far the strongest choice here. So initially, they wanted to spice it up with the... with the choice, but it happens the exact reverse, because when you get one of the most meta techs to choose from, well, then it's just about who plays this tech the best. By the way,
which makes sense.
you still have those icons?
Yes.
They don't go away, right? Oh,
yeah.
I can't...
Oh, no, it's
now
okay.
it works. Now it works. Now it went away. Very good.
It was for you too, or?
Yes. It stayed, but I think that was just for... choice by the map maker to keep it on a little longer for the observers. Okay, now let's get into it.
Let's not say anything bad about LOL Report. He's a phenomenal freaking map developer, like 100%.
Oh, absolute freak.
Yeah, he's really good.
Also,
he's one of my favorites for sure.
Very cool.
Map developer.
He also makes an effort to really make some significant gameplay changes every season, just to spice it up a little. I think it's an interesting philosophy.
That's the right thing to do, I think. All right, so we got everyone's just min-maxing as much as possible, building as least towers as possible.
Yes, that's right. In the 1v1 before, we saw the opposite, because 1v1 is very different rules, because there the aggression is rewarded more. Because the problem in being aggressive in FFA is you might get the guy down that you're sending into, but whoever is sending into you does not feel this. If anything, he gets rewarded from it because he himself is under less pressure. So you see more income spamming in FFA than in 1v1. And Silverthorn is a very strong 1v1 player, which is of course why he took it home against Term before Sudden Death.
By the way, I see, so it goes against a little bit of principles of Lion Tower Wars, where he's not placing down cutters instead of those. He's placing owls down to take down skeletons. Is that new, or why is that the case? Because usually cutters eliminate
I would say
skeletons
it
faster.
is a stylistic choice. So I also like to be like a high owl player. And who are you referring to in particular? You mean Chris?
Yeah, Chris. Yeah.
Yeah. So the owls are really good against the acolytes, for example, just damage-wise, because they do magic damage, and the acolytes have heavy armor. So Chris's
So 50%
idea,
extra damage.
yes. So Chris's idea is I overbuild a little bit on holding the skeletons, but I will hold the what comes after it much more easier. Also, the owls are
I see.
arguably better against the spiders, but only if you micro them, because the spiders have the skittering trait. They are always focused last. So this is one of the first dangerous sends. You can see they all build one basic plague tower already, which is so strong, because it has some AoE damage, and that is what you need to hold the spiders. Before them, you can hold with just the basic towers. Once you see spiders, you need that plague well.
So you did say before we continue, you said so rank 1 is Wui, we got rank 2 is Dubs.
It actually switched around just today. So Dubs is rank 1 now, and Wui rank 2. They're very close to each other.
Okay, and then we got Chris is
5, and Silver is 4.
oh my god, this
Yes.
is talk about a titan of a matchup.
Oh
This
yeah,
is
it
incredible.
is stacked.
So this is basically the best game the viewers will ever watch of
Flying Tower
basically.
Wars of the current season, yes, I would agree. Now there are some, titans that are not so active in this season. For example, Coffee Ninja or Milo or the all-time GOAT Pokemon. But of what you can get from this season at this stage, yes, these are the best players. And
That's
also,
incredible.
there's a bit of a gap, I would say, between Dubs and Wui. They are both like 200 points ahead of the next ranks 3, 4, and 5, which is Silver and Chris.
So they're significantly better, at least when it comes to like highest level
All
of
together,
play.
yes, I think
There's
it's
quite a big gap.
Yes, altogether I think it's fair to say that. But really, each of them can win it here. It comes down to details, right? And of how these details stack up, how you can leverage a tiny advantage and so on.
So for the players, they don't know who they're sending to. This
That's
is all
right.
invisible. We're
That's right.
we're able to see it, but
They
for
don't
them it's
know.
complete fog of war, right?
Yes. Now, what you can do is you can find out who you're sending into, for example, by the way how they build their maze. For example, I believe, let's see, it depends on either do they start on the middle or do they start in the back, for example. You can differentiate it by that. But these here, I think, all started in the middle, with Dubs maybe starting in the back and already changing it. But I think he also started middle. And then each of them has like stylistic preferences. So if you watch the maze, what only thing they see is the maze of who they're sending into at the moment when the creeps run through. So if you watch that maze really closely, you might be able to identify them. Also, as the game goes on, you get sort of a feeling. You know, these guys have played each other so much that they know also like the sending preferences of each of them. So they get to feel it out eventually. Oh, that's likely this guy, that's likely that guy.
Yeah. People know that Wu is an aggressive sender. They know how they're building. Like this maze is very characteristic of just how Wu plays.
Voi is not an aggressive sender. Voi, in my book, is the biggest income spammer, but he's an extremely strong income spammer. Like his income spam is better than the others in the sense that it can still hurt you, even when he's not saving up extra gold. He still hurts you with the regular send, and with Woi, you have to watch out for one thing. I think both Wang and Woi are the most notorious for doing this, which is they will keep you comfortable for 98% of the time. They will make it super silly, super easy for you, especially when they know you are very good. They will make it super easy for you up until they absolutely don't. And then it is like the complete judo sweep opposite, and you will like get thrown out of your rhythm, and then you cannot defend it anymore. This is what they're very good at.
Oh my god, that's so true. I remember him doing this where it's like,
Hmm.
okay, he spam sands and then increases his income as best as he can, just being
Yes.
as income efficient as possible, and then saves up a little bit, right? And then
Hmm.
goes for like a big Banshee wave or a
That's
big
exactly right.
Spirit Walker.
Yeah.
That's Wii for sure. Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying. Yeah.
Like he's chilling with his sense most of the time, and then when he reaches that particular point in the game where he knows now comes the big send that everybody is
Mhm.
weak to, he hits that extra hard, and you will be so not ready. That is his style of sending, for example.
Mhm.
Now, in terms of the game flow, we could say it matters about who is sending into whom. So what is the position? And we see Dubs is sending into Woi. So you could think that is good for Dubs because he can put Woi under pressure. Dubs is a good pressure sender if he wants to also. But Chris, I would say, Chris is a much more aggressive sender than Woi, for example, because Chris never stops the pressure. He might not be saving up, but his sends most of the time are dedicated, so you don't get so much time to breathe as a defender. And over time, what this does is it throws back your income more and more and more and more, because he never lets you chill for a longer time. You can see it now in Dub's maze. Chris is bringing a really big send with the Rot Golems. This is like the boss tier 1 unit.
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just a lot of health, right?
Yeah, it's
But
a single unit with a lot of health. But Glyph is the best tech at holding this particular unit. So the
like Infernals or Rot Golems both like get countered by Lightning Beacon, right?
yes, they both get countered by high single target damage, but you don't want the Lightning Beacon to hold the Rot Golems. That is like over defending. Already the shock particles are extremely good against the Rot Golems.
Why are they typing RR in chat? What the fuck?
That means reroute. They type that when they rebuild their maze. And you know there's like a gentleman's agreement that you do not juggle. What you could do theoretically in this game. Now I don't want to give the wrong ideas to the viewers, but what you could do is you open up one part, like you delete the tower really quick and build it at a different part, and then the units, like their natural pathing goes as they would go, but all of a sudden they hit a wall where they didn't expect it, and then they just start walking around randomly, and then you can like juggle this back and forth.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
to say.
juggle, yeah.
And so
Is there like it's obviously bannable, right?
yes, this is banned. So when we see somebody obviously juggling, the game would stop. But these players don't juggle. Don't worry.
No, for sure I
And
know,
so-
but it's just
but the
I
thing
forgot
is-
about that mechanic.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. The thing is, sometimes you just have to rebuild your maze, and then it just naturally happens that, especially when you transition from the initial stage, the initial shape
2 second statue. Yeah.
into the second, then you rebuild the entire shape of your maze, so the units get confused. And then somebody writes reroute, and then what the sender has to do is basically just type one button, and then all of the movements from the units recalculate to adjust and they walk correctly again.
My god, that's like a high level
Yeah. And wait, now there's more to it. You can
Okay.
also type reroute.
Okay, let's talk about the game. It
Yeah,
doesn't really matter.
yeah.
Viewers
Makes sense,
are
makes
fucking
sense.
yawning at this point. You know what I mean? It's like
Absolutely.
talk about anything else at this point.
So
yeah?
look at Chris's maze now. Silver is
Yeah.
trying to get
Steal
the big
some
sand
lives,
in, and he stole only one life. But what really matters is that he got Chris down in income. So
So he invested so much in his defenses, basically.
Yes.
That's what you're saying.
also his maze value went up. You can always see this. Also, going back to tier 1, when we saw Chris hitting a big send into Dubs, this might have been good for the sense that Dubs has to upgrade a lot. But the thing is, those Rot Golems are not so income efficient. It's not so bad anymore either, but when you send a lot of them, you naturally don't get as much income as you would get from just spamming. So Chris might have gotten down a little bit from that.
But no matter what, if we're looking at the scoreboard, it's like very
Oh yeah,
even
it's
playing field.
super even.
Income is the same,
Mhm.
value is the same.
You-
Number of lives, I guess, differ to a certain degree,
Yeah.
but I think it's normal.
You can see it's like the creme de la creme of the players playing here,
This
because
is
it's almost
yeah.
mirrored what they do. Silver is drawing quite ahead now, actually, in income when I say it. Look at Chris's maze. This is very relevant now, because Silver was etching out a tiny advantage early, which we didn't even notice, but he used it to save up now, when maybe even Chris didn't notice. And now
my God, the amount of spawning
yeah,
dragon spawns.
now
Holy
he is,
shit, that's a lot.
and this is what Glyph is weak against. So Silver waited for the perfect moment, and then he safe sended. So he held back his gold just one time, and then he hit Chris with the big dragon spawn sand. And now Chris is again
Oh,
losing
beautiful.
just one life. But
Every
Chris,
time.
yeah. But I mean, it's really good. But Chris had to up his mace value hard again, as it happened once with Chris already. So we can see the biggest discrepancy opening between Silver and Chris. And I think the reason...
I love how you're saying that it's a big discrepancy, but it only stole like one life, so that's freaking hilarious.
Yeah, I'm not talking
at
about
this
the
level
life,
is a
I'm
lot, right?
talking about the income, where you see the
Yeah,
discrepancy.
income,
But yeah, he always just steals one life. Of course, that's not big, but what he cares more about is getting his income down. Now, the reason why he's able to do this, I believe, is because Dubs is pressuring Voi. Actually, no, Voi's mace value is still down. The reason why he's able to do is because Voi is being Voi. That means he's income spamming like MFer, you know what I mean? He's just spamming, spamming. And that is why his income is so high, because he never even tried to steal lives. He just tries to defend extremely efficiently and get an income advantage. Until...
That's true, you're right. Wii is very good at defending. I've noticed that. He's gonna use as much value as possible to defend as many lives. Like he does not like just lose lives at all.
Yeah, he does not lose lives, and also he does not really over defend. He, you know, like the wizard, he doesn't defend too much or too little, just exactly as much as he needs to.
Wii is the wise man, right? With the beard.
Can say. And also now the Banshee stage is coming up, so now we have to watch out. For example, okay, now Chris didn't, but this is where I expect Voi to eventually start bringing a big Banshee sand into Silver. Like all of them, you have to watch where are they saving up income now. And Dubs is definitely saving up now. So he held his income once, and you can see almost 0 units in Voi's maze. But 1 unit you see or you don't see, which is the Satire Shadow Dancer. Oh yeah, also the tanks, but the tanks are just to draw away the aggro from the units in front, so they don't hit the air send. And so now Dubs brought a huge safe send of Banshees into Voi, and Voi's response is to just up masses of Glyph. Now you can see Voi is up in mace value a lot, and the cool thing about Voi's style is he's not even really down in income, because he was just crazy spamming up until that point. That means that even because he does not have to, even if he has to upgrade his mace massively now, he's still not down in income so much. And so now he has more income than Dubs and more mace value than Dubs. He has a bit...
Like, it can be good to save, but I feel like you could risk this unless you're very consistent at sending.
He has a bit less lives.
It's still even.
Yeah, he has a bit less lives, though. He has to watch that. Because once Dubs wants to become really evil, eventually Voi might get in trouble. But this would only or mostly happen on weaker techs, because they both got one of the best techs, like Glyph I would say is number 2 tech. Because they have this as a choice, most of them will be able to hold most of every send up until sudden death. But I hope...
That's incredible.
I really hope in the final game, the next one, which is the final of the final, we will see not such OP techs to choose from. Because then it will be mayhem, because even the best players will leak at some stages, because there is simply no way to hold if you know how to send correctly. But with Glyph it's not so much the case.
Well, like either if it's like I agree with what you're saying. Like you play like maybe subpar text, but at the same time, it's fun to see the best players play the best tech
Oh,
as well. Like
definitely.
it forces them to go to late game and whatnot, so that we get to see
Yeah, you see the sudden death,
really, yeah, we see the sudden death.
but also the
Maybe
season.
like you said, if they play worse elementals, then for sure some of these players might have been eliminated. But
Yeah,
who
yeah.
knows?
Some will drop earlier. For example, there is the Earth Tech, which has no native anti-air tower. And there, if you hit the
Mm.
big Banshee saves, it used to be like, well, best thing I can do is leak all of them, hope I survive, and stack all of mine on top for the next guy.
Oh, okay. So you basically send your own airwave. So a good defense is a good offense, basically.
Yes,
Type
yes.
shit.
And even in the way that you leak all of them and then stack your own
Mhm.
on top behind. Now we see big Crypt Fiend leaks from Chris. So Silver's offense is now starting to pay off. He waited for the next window where he is really good at sending, because Glyph Tech has a weakness against the Crypt Fiend. So because Crypt Fiend is also the unit that gets targeted last. And if you have a lot of bulk units in
Oh,
there,
really?
yes, if you
Okay.
have a lot of unless you manually target your towers to them. So this is where micro matters in this game. So when you have a lot of bulk sends, the Crypt Fiends might sneak through. Now look into Dubs's maze. He is eating the big Spirit Walker send from Chris.
Yeah, that's a
So
lot.
he's now losing 20 lives, which puts Dubs under heavy pressure to make something happen. And Woi has only wisps in the front. So you might think that you can attack Woi now. But this is bait actually, because his front is already 4 lines deep. So yeah, he's still gonna hold if you attack it. You're just gonna lose out
I
on
mean,
income.
like shrooms are super good. They just
Oh yeah.
why
Uh,
they're really good versus tanks, by the way.
They're not good versus tanks at all. They just are 10k already, so they have a lot of lives. But what
Mm.
has to do the damage is the tower behind the shrooms,
Mhm.
and how you say, the glyph has a huge range. So when he sends tanks, even from the back, the glyphs will still shoot onto the tanks, and the
Yeah, we'll handle
shrooms
the
just
tanks
tank
fine.
it.
Yeah.
Now look
Mhm.
into Chris's maze. There are some more spiders at the end, and Silver has to manually target those now or they will leak. And he's not targeting them, so Chris is leaking again. And the next
It's
ones,
gonna be close.
he might actually hold, because there is no more otter units that just take the skittering. Oh, yeah, he just got it.
Why
but-
does he have ultimate manglers? Why is that? Is it slow
Where are they?
in Chris's maze?
So the Mangler, I'm a big fan of it actually, especially when you have Frost natively. They have many purpose. So they don't slow, but they have very, very high splash damage and very high damage just. And ideally you want them in spots where they hit at least 3 times. But counterintuitively, those Ogre Manglers are also good against air. They basically clap the Banshees out of the sky when they hit them nicely. So when the big Banshee wave comes, the ultimate Manglers are not so bad. Now we see Chris leaking more and more Crypt Fiends, because they are still, all of the glyphs are not targeting them. So Silver is
that's
doing
rough.
a good job. Like Crypt Fiends
Look
is,
at Chris, bro. That's
Mhm.
so many Crypt Fiends coming in.
Mhm.
That's gonna be difficult.
and Chris
it's gonna be
himself, look what he does to Dubs. He saved up the ultimate
Oh,
gigantic
wow.
save with the abominations and sending it all into Dubs. So Dubs is under big pressure himself now, and he's leaking all of those A-bombs. Is that GG for Dubs? I don't think, but he's on single-digit lives now.
fine. No fucking way. That's
Oh,
rank 2
down
going
to
down
8.
to 8
Yeah.
HP.
And you know who's profiting the most from this?
Oi.
Yeah, definitely. Because Dubs, you could think he's now under big pressure to make something happen. But the game is already at such a stage where Woi is like, well, good luck trying to make something happen. But he has to. So once the early tier 4 units unlock, which is the statues and the Kodo, I can absolutely assure you, Dubs, look at his gold. He's saving up 4.4 million gold. So Dubs will bring the biggest Hail Mary send into Woi now. But Woi, being Woi, is one of the best at holding these. And do you see, now the send starts from Dubs. He opens it up. Oh, okay.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
he just brings one gigantic Spirit Walker wave with the War Beast, which is the tier 4 aura unit. They give the ultimate armor and the ultimate speed aura. But Woi is pretty ready. He upped his mace value instantly to 10k. He covered everything with Glyph, so it has with Lich, so it has max slow, and he has a big combination of Glyph and Scorpion, which are prime damage
There
dealer.
is no way he defends every single
No.
one.
He's gonna leak some, but he's not gonna leak a lot. Well, he leaked
10
10.
lives.
But at the end of the day, now the big Spirit Walker wave
Spirit
actually...
Walkers at Dubs is...
Yes,
oh
yes.
my
Now Dubs
god.
is eating the same scent that he just gave Woi, but Chris augmented
see.
it with some more tier 3 units that came first into the maze. So I think this scent from Chris into Dubs is gonna do a lot better.
Yeah,
if
because there's
Dubs-
a lot of ground units taking the aggro.
The thing
so he
is,
needs to micro a
the
little
thing
bit.
is, Dubs micros like a god. So you can actually see him snipe all of those. Yeah, he's sniping literally all of those Spirit Walkers out of the way. Okay, leaking
Beautiful.
too. But man, I can tell you, Dubs was sweating bullets at this point because he
Jesus
might have
Christ.
just died there. When I just looked at his mace with the sand into it, I thought this might be over for him. But he had so many glyph and he targeted them like a madman. Like his APM is quite high that he got all out of it. But ooh, this was close. So going into sudden death, let me tell you, Dubs has the strongest sudden death from all of them, stronger than Woi's, because his mace shape is a bit more ideal for the end game send, and also his sending pattern is just top notch. But Woi is better at creating a good situation going into sudden death, which is exactly what we're seeing here. But we're talking about Dubs and Woi here, where in reality the most lives are from Silver and from Chris. So Silver pressured Chris hard, stealing lives from him, and Chris in turn pressured Dubs hard, stealing lives from him. And Woi focuses only on defending. I did not see one huge send from Woi, and even if he did, I'm pretty sure at some point he did and we didn't catch it. But the point is, Silver is great at defending, and he is a bit running away with the game. Look at how high his income is compared to Chris. Chris might have high lives, but he doesn't have high income. And what I think will happen is we are 1 minute away from sudden death. And Silver wants to get his mace just ready enough that it's not terrible at sudden death, but not completely done. And then he wants to make sure... Dubs,
what happened?
I assume he ate another... Oh, he ate the big worm wave, of course. So Chris was saving up big for the worms. And those are, at this stage of the game, almost impossible to
That's
hold.
incredible. Rank 2 goes away.
Yeah,
I really
yeah.
liked his mace shape, by the way. That was a very nice mace shape.
Yes. But Chris played it really well. He got Dubs low, and he knew this is my time. So he saved up before sudden death to the worms. And basically Chris is not playing for the win, because the worms give 0 income. You can see Chris is significantly behind in income. This might be Silver's game to win now, because as soon as Silver hits 4 million, he will now start saving up his gold and make sure that he has like the minimal mace that is really good though, and then he wants to be the first guy to bring the actual sudden death send. And then Chris, who is nowhere near from ready, when you look at the back of his mace, he needs all of these technology discs in which he doesn't. All of these glyphs need to be transformed. All of these crystals need to be transformed. All of these lich need to be transformed. So Chris was all about getting Dubs out, which he managed, and now maybe be the first one to hit a hard send on Woi. But Silver is now extremely early in getting the Shredder send in. And Woi does the same thing. So Woi's Shredder send is actually even further than Silver's. But unlike...
I think she's the strongest Shredder sender, correct? At the top?
He's definitely top 3, I would say, Woi's Shredder sends. I think Woi is very, very good in navigating through the game into sudden death. and also in getting clutch victories out of situations where you think he already lost. But baseline,
Let's
I
go.
don't
That's
think
a lot
he
of
has.
lives. Nice.
Oh yeah, he's stealing big time. But you know who's also stealing big time? Silver from Chris. So this will come down to.
Oh wow.
Mhm.
That's a lot of units coming in. Oof, that's
Oh,
gonna
yeah.
be, oh, so many lives traded.
Silver.
Wui's just chilling, no? Look at Wui's just chilling.
Well, he was focusing very much on his send into silver, which was the right thing. He never tried to steal lives throughout all of the game, you noticed that? And then, right at sudden death, he made sure that he is so ready when silver is not yet ready, because silver also wanted to get an early send in. And so because of that, Woi stole an absolute ton of lives from silver right at sudden deaths, which was the right decision. But there is one thing about Woi that is absolutely bad, and that is when you look at the back of his mace, he was not able to charge up his trappers fully. So the Beastmasters are not ideal yet. He can only transform those into Beastmasters once they have full mana. So
Full
that
mana, okay. And they generate mana by attacking, is
by
that correct?
attacking, yes. And the
Yeah,
10k the 10k generated much better than the 30k. So he wants to keep them 10k. But the problem is now he doesn't have the Beastmasters, which are absolutely crucial in his maze for the final send.
For the CC, right? So the
Yes.
Beastmasters with the lizards, they
Yes.
connect in between each other and they stun in a line. Is that how it works?
That is right, yes. The
correct. Okay.
Beastmasters shoot out those war beasts or Kodos always to the furthest away, unless you set the target manually. Max range is 1200 if they have so much mana. You can see, depending on how much mana they have, that determines the max range they can shoot the Kodo out. And then the Kodo.
Oh, I see.
Now Chris actually stole not so many lives from Woi. That is because A, his scent was not ideal, and B, he chose the wrong scent. He went for the small shredder big worm scent. And that
Oh
is,
my god.
he's almost dying.
56 lives.
Yeah. Silver just stolen an insane amount from Chris. So it keeps being between Silver and Woi. And with with Chris, he brought the small shredder scent. And the problem is, Beastmasters, they are good against shredders. They are not good against worms. So if Chris wanted to exploit that, but of course we have vision of everything here. Chris did not see that the Beastmasters were not charged in the back from Woi, so he assumed they were. And that means he brought a small shredder scent just to survive, because Chris is not playing for the victory, he's playing for second. But if he had brought the actual big shredder scent there, he would have stolen big time from Woi. Instead he brought the small shredder scent with the big worms on top and stole almost nothing.
Yeah, but now it's pretty much over. The shredders
Yep.
are coming into
He's
the
down
end
to
of portion of the
now
maze of Chris.
this is the
and-
point where Silver will start complaining, because he has such a gigantic scent. He's actually a bit lucky because Chris stole some lives. But the thing is, Silver has such a gigantic scent that he would have stolen at least 25 more lives from Chris. But since he's dead, he's not stealing anymore, and his whole scent just disappears. Whereas Woi...
It should go to the second player, no?
Yeah,
Shouldn't it- I feel like
there's
that-
reasons for and against that. In that season they said no, it's not. And so now what you see is Woi, he is now stealing an insane amount of lives from Silver again, and Silver sent, because it disappeared, he has to start over again. But now there is one interesting thing, and that is...
Yeah, but that's such a disadvantage for the sender, because all that value is lost.
Yep,
no?
that is
he
right.
spent so
that
much
is
value.
right. But you know what happened in the last patch? Should I tell you?
What?
When the final send, usually all of the sends leak, but the final send at sudden death, they don't leak anymore. And the reason for that is players used to abuse the rhythm so hard, in the sense that, look, I know I'm going to leak, and I know I'm going to leak big time on the final send. So I will leak 50 shredders into my own receiver's maze on purpose, so that I can stack my own perfect send right on top and even
Oh,
have
I see.
50 shredders as a cushion. And then the defender of that send is like, well, nothing I can do, minus 100.
Well, maybe then just the portion, for example. Maybe sudden death would be
Yes,
only, I don't
or
know,
you
25% unit.
yes, exactly. Or you could make it that units that leak get a certain debuff or whatever.
Debuff, yeah.
Something like that. Okay, GG. So Voi took it, and really, the
What a
main,
game.
like, so much happened, but in the end, what played a big role, I have to say, is the fact that Silver's big send in Chris's maze just disappeared. But you can also say that Silver could have made smarter strategic decisions to avoid that situation, because he knew Chris was low on lives. And for example, what Voi might have done in his situation, because I think he's really good in those kind of things, is he just tries to edge out Chris barely with the big worm send that goes through much more quickly and costs less in total, so that he can start working into Voi earlier without losing many more of the rest of the send. You know what I mean? But it's so easy to say this in hindsight. At the end of the day, it was amazing play. I think Silver played amazing throughout the game, preparing Chris, and Chris also played amazing into Dubs by being so damn aggressive. And Dubs is actually a main glyph player, so that makes it even more impressive that he got him out. And the thing is with Dubs, his baseline is extremely good, but this is his first tournament. You know, he's only 19 years old. And he only started playing Line Tower Wars Reforged this year in January or so. And he already leveled up to rank number 1 on the leaderboard, because of course we pushed him hard and everything. But it is his first tournament, so he does not have the real tournament experience, I would say. And you can say maybe that showed a little bit here, but Lord knows what happens in game 2.
Man, that was a very good one. Man,
yes. And I'm glad it was, because it was the glyph tech. I really hope we are going to see worse tech choices now, because then it will be so fun. Even with the best players, because they will also bring the best sense into each other, and they won't have the best tools to defend anymore. So let me just see in tournament chat real quick if we have final group game 1. So correct me if I'm wrong, we have on number 1 Voi with 10, number 2
Silver is second,
Silver with 7, then we have 5 on Chris, right?
Chris and last
and 2
Dubs,
on
yep.
Dubs. All right.
Yep.
Very good, very good. Yeah, strategically, Voi did all the right things. And getting back to, you saw, he was not aggressive at all until he absolutely was.
I feel like that's a good strategy, generally speaking, because
it is.
especially at the highest level, it's probably just better to not try to like commit to a send.
It depends.
Early?
It depends on a lot of things. Let me just host the, or do we? Let's see.
I will definitely set this one out. I'll watch your stream most likely.
All right.
But
thank you very much.
This was super fun to cast, by the way. So.
All right.
I'll try to link your channel to basically the viewers so they see the grand finale.
Yeah, sure. Thank you. And
that should be fun.
I'm glad you helped me cast this. It was really cool. And
bro, you carried the whole casting. I was there as basically a backup vocalist.
Yeah, well, you point out the things that have to be. For example, when I get carried away too much with explaining some minor detail, it's good you bring me back to the game.
Exactly.
I hope I can find somebody to co-cast the last game, maybe. Let's see. But if not, I'll try to.
Tag some people. I'm sure someone will volunteer.
Yeah, sure. Hey, thank you very much, Wimp. It was nice to meet you.
I'll see you around. GG's.
Wish you all the best. Have a nice weekend.
Take care.
Okay, I think we will continue in just a minute. Chris already hosted final lobby, very good. Let's see. get here. Good. I hope we don't get cliff and wait a sec, please. Maybe Wong wants to co-cast with me. Alright guys, I think we will continue in just 1 or 2 minutes. I'll get something to drink real quick so that my voice doesn't die. Riri, Wong, are you here? I just came back. Just a second. Can you say something, please?
Hello?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Very nice. I might just have to up your volume a little bit. Can you keep talking about just something that I see how it is?
Okay. Is it better now? How is the voice? Is loud enough or should I turn on the volume?
So,
Is it better?
yes, definitely. I think now it is more or less even.
Okay, good.
Yeah, very good. Now it is good.
Okay, nice.
So let's go. I'm ready.
Okay.
Let's find about the others. Ready, check. I did not catch too much of the chat. I found it funny how, I don't know if you heard the cast, but last game, you know, they were like, hey, let's do draft tech so that it's more interesting. And of course, everybody plays Cliff.
Yes. I hope this time we get something interesting, you know?
Yeah,
Not
me
something
too.
always play.
Like a good choice. The problem is with 3 people, with 3 techs as a choice, statistically you often have one that is really good, and then they just all pick that one. But what would be good if they all have like a medium tier tech, and then they actually pick something different based on preference.
Yes. Okay, so let's see. Are they all ready? Are we gonna start now?
Yes, now all already. Go.
Okay, good.
So who is your pick for the winner?
I was surprised how good we played last game. So
Oh yeah.
I think I think my bet is on we now.
Yeah,
Like
same.
last game I think Silver has the best position, but I think he over pressure too much. So his mace was not very ready when
Yeah, I agree.
Wu's
It
first wave.
looked like pole position for Silver going into sudden death, but right at sudden death, Voi brought the very big sand and Silver brought the very big sand. But
Yeah.
Voi's sand stole a ton and Silver's sand stole not so much. And that is when the difference started piling up. Oh yes, this is interesting. I think they will go Beastmaster.
I think most of them play Beastmaster.
Oh, actually, Dubs Hurricane, Silverthorn Gravedigger, sorry, Chris Gravedigger, Silverthorn Gravedigger. I did not see Voi. Huh. That's gonna be super interesting. I like that choice a lot.
Wow. So no one play Beastmaster?
I'm not sure. I did not see Voi's pick. Did you see?
No. Like, where do you see what they pick? I don't see anything.
Right at the very beginning, it just gave a message really quick with all these yellow lines that appeared. You could read who picked what, but it disappeared right away. So you have to
I
catch
see.
it at the beginning.
I see. Okay, so let's see. So you say Chris pick Hurricane?
I think
Dubs
so.
Pick, and what Dubs pick?
I saw one Hurricane, two Gravedigger. I already forgot who picked what.
Okay. But we can tell right away. when they
yeah.
build
But the first tower will tell us.
Yeah. Okay. What do you think about this position?
I think it is going to be hard pressure on Dubs again because Voi will income spam for a long time as he did last game. That means Chris will have a relatively easy time pressuring Dubs, which he will do. And Silverthorn will probably be under pressure because Dubs thinks I don't want to drop out first again. And then he will like maybe be under pressure and at the same time not want to be the defender, so go super hard on Silver again. So I think it is Voi's game to win again.
Say 99% Wu is going to win this. He has the best position. Yep. So Dubs, I think Dubs is in bad luck, 2 in a row that Chris sent into him.
Yeah, I thought the same. It's again Chris, and was it well, last game Silver sent into Chris, and this was very hard pressure from Silver.
Yeah.
I think Silver pressure Chris really well, and still Chris played so well that he got out Dubs before sudden death on Glyph Tech, which is Dubs' main tech. So I think this time Chris will have even better pressure on Dubs.
Yep.
But we also have to say it is still the tech that they are not so familiar with. Like everybody was familiar with Glyph, right? But on this tech, everything can happen. I think this time Voi's style is not so favored because he tends to income spam a lot. But you really want to give the big pressure sense on some parts, I think, unless the defender does it perfectly.
I think Wu is very smart. Usually he know like which strat he need to play differently,
That's true.
So I think, yeah.
We also saw it last game. Strategically, he did everything right, and it's how he won in the end. For example, Silver, I had to remark something on the last game was he was in such a good position, but then he stacked a gigantic send into Chris when Chris was down on like 8 or 10 lives, or even lower. So the problem is, Silver stole those few lives, and then his entire sand just disappeared. And then Voi was so much ahead that he won. And I think Voi, for example, would have just tried to sneak 7 lives through against Chris, so that he can get the big sand into Silver faster, and doesn't waste so much of the big sand, as what happened with Silver.
You see, Dubs and Wu both pick Hurricane. It's interesting, huh?
Ah yes, Silver also. So we have 3 Hurricane, and Chris is on the what was it?
Gravedigger.
On the Gravedigger. Yes. Now I think Chris will have a good time pressuring with the Gravedigger because he starts with the Plague, of course, which we know is the best tier 1, and already Chris is starting the pressure on Dubs. He already brings the big Shade Send.
Yep.
And so Dubs
Yeah.
is gonna get down on income early.
Yep.
I'd
I
have to
think-
reduce the in-game volume just a little bit. Like that.
This is gonna be a very tough game for Dobbs again. Yeah.
Good. Yeah, it's gonna be very tough. But they are all at 50 lives still, so
Mm.
either no early steals or it equaled out again.
Mm.
Now the Hurricane tech used to be S tier, like last year for example, because it has good tower distribution of the Splasher, which does good splash damage, and the Shock Particle, which does very good single target damage, right?
Mm.
And this year it is a bit weaker because the voltage which turn into Orb Keeper eventually are not so necessary anymore. Back then
Yep.
you used to need to have Orb Keeper early, and so Hurricane, which already gives you the 10k, is very good for that. By the way, Voi might be leaking a bit here, but he's just holding. But he had to
Yep.
up his mace value a bit. So actually Dubs is ahead in income now, counterintuitively. Maybe
I think,
Dubs. Hmm?
I think Hurricane is one of the strongest strat from tier 1 to tier 2, you know.
Yes.
But once you hit tier 3, it's very, very tough.
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It's gonna be interesting to see tier 3.
Yeah, to see how they
Ah.
deal with those threats.
I
Yeah.
did not take one thing into account, and that is that Gravedigger on this patch has the Void tech. So Chris is not going to be aggressive at all because he has to spread the Void like BBQ, right?
Yeah, you are right.
So that means Dubs has an easier time in the beginning, so that means Silver is actually more under pressure, which he absolutely is. There is a lot of Mod Golem and Rot Golem and Priest walking in the back of Silver's maze now, but the
Mhm.
Shade wave is a bit late, I think.
Because he already have all those 200 lighting, you know. So
Yes,
I don't
yes.
think the air will pass through.
Yeah, he's gonna hold very clean.
Mm-hmm.
So far everything looks pretty textbook. Chris has by far the most mace value, but this is to be expected because he plays the Void tech.
Mm-hmm. So I didn't play like Grave Digger this season.
Mhm.
Like which part you think is Grave Digger's weakness? Which stage?
So the way how I like to play Gravedigger is you play it very piercing damage heavy. Like you have the Gravedigger and you go the Crystal and eventually even the Scorpion, which is all piercing damage. So it might be weak against Shaman if you don't do it right.
Okay, Shaman. Okay, in
Mhm.
tier 3, right?
Yes, I think tier 3 and in tier 2 it's like Gravedigger is not the best. The weakness is mainly that you have to spread the Void, which makes you defending or not so aggressive. But I think Gravedigger is actually a really good tech. I would say it is A tier at least. So
Mm.
I mean you have easy hold on the Banshees, even on the Infernals and so on. The stage to pressure it would be early tier 1 when he's just spreading the Void. But because he has the defiled mountains that are fountains that are so strong, he can still hold it. But you can make him over invest early with the Gravedigger if you pressure very well, I think.
Mm.
But this did not happen, so I think Chris not so much under pressure. One thing that is also bad for Gravedigger is the transition into sudden death, because you have to replace all of the early towers.
Yes.
So it is strong early and becomes weak later. With Hurricane on the other side, the transition is pretty good, because you still need a ton of those Orb Keeper in Final Maze, and you just place them naturally with the Hurricane.
Actually, Because Chris play Grave Digger, it seems like Dobbs' position is not that bad, right? He's
Yes, I agree.
pressuring Silver.
I agree.
I-
This might be Dubs' game to win. Unless Chris is going to hard pressure Dubs eventually. Because now we can see Chris's void is spreading, like the 800 are spread. And so now it will matter what Chris does. If he wants to get back his income or if he wants to start pressuring Dubs. It's a bit in his hands. And I think he will want to pressure Dubs.
How is Grave Digger dealing with, for example, Mass Banshee?
I think
Like
pretty well, honestly.
pretty well. Okay.
Because you have the 10k Ravagers that are not so bad, and the Gravediggers themselves are really good. But you need upgrade them, of course. I think it's as good as Scorpion, maybe even better. Maybe a bit
Okay.
worse because no slow.
So basically, Chris will be fine till tier 3, right?
I agree.
When Shaman can be sent.
Yeah, yeah. Late tier 3 and early tier 4, right before sudden death. And then the transition into sudden death is gonna be hard for Chris. Now we
Chris-
see a big send from Dubs into Silver, and Silver called reroute, which is important in that spot because he's rebuilding his maze. So this Dragon Spawn send with the air on top, this is a big send from Dubs. He wants to make something happen. This might be Silver under heavy pressure this game, because Chris of course is spreading the void. Looking back, I think this is also why the others did not so eagerly pick Gravedigger, because you have to spread void. Okay.
Like 8,
Oh,
9.
so good leaks from Dubs into Silver, and he also got his mace value down hard. So that was really good. And I would almost expect Chris to bring an offense now. But he keeps income spamming. So now this puts a bit pressure on Silver to get something done into Voi. But I think he knows he's sending into Voi. So he just wants to get his income back. So Silver might accept his losses here, but I'm not sure. They play very defensively. I expected them to play more offensive because it is off meta tech, but they actually do the opposite. And the reason is they don't want to die. They care much more about defending than about stealing.
Yeah, I'm surprised Chris is kind of soft this game, right? Because normally for Hurricane, it's very weak against Turtle.
Yes,
So
I agree.
actually, the Turtle Dragon Spawn combo is very effective to Hurricane, you know?
Now Chris is sending it.
Yeah, he's sending a big wave, yeah.
Let's find out how it does. It is a bit late, but it might still be well. I think Dubs will hold it all, but he has to upgrade his mace value a lot, which makes it already worth. But yeah, this wave, it goes through really well. But 3 Hurricane in the back hold it all. Oh, but those Wyvern are all the way to the right side. So, okay, still they get cleaned up.
300k value now. For
Yeah.
Dubs.
So Chris is actually number 1 now in income after he was down so heavy, because the Gravedigger defends most efficiently now. I think this is now Chris's window to pressure Dubs. He should not. If I was Chris, I would not stop. Just the Cobalt Sand is also good.
Yep, Cobalt is very strong.
And we see Silver trying to steal from Voi. He almost gets Wyvern through, but Voi cleans it nicely. But also Voi has to go to 300k now. So it evens out a bit again with Dubs in the life lead. So that's a good position for him now. And Dubs is now also sending a big Dragon Spawn sand again. This looks like income spam, but it's a bit better, I think. Here
But you
comes
can
the
see-
Banshee.
Wow. you can see for income and mace value, like Dubs and Wui is around in the same level, right? Both are way ahead now.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they do just the routine a bit cleaner than the others, I think. That is why they draw ahead over time. And also, they did not so hard want to steal lives, so they focus more on income spam. But Chris is doing very well as well. And I think tower-wise, he has an advantage with the Gravedigger against Banshee and against Crypt Fiend. But he needs to get the Frost in soon. Now comes the Banshee into Chris. Actually, Chris has to upgrade his mace value like crazy, because it is not so good against the Dragon Spawn. So he's on 800k.
Yeah, he missed the AoE in the front, that's why he
Yes. Yes, I agree. He should have had more Ravagers in box 1, and then he doesn't need so many Gravediggers. So Silver lost a lot of lives. I might have missed that. Or just like... Ah, that was actually the Banshees, which were just going through. So really, Silver is the most under pressure to make something happen. And I think this was mainly enabled by Dubs having no pressure from Chris in the early stages of the game. So he got comfortable and could defend efficiently and could pressure Silver big time.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I think Wui is still gonna win it.
Yeah, I think so too. Yeah, Wui already has his game plan in mind, you know. He just play effectively to execute.
That's right. He's got the end of the game in mind at the beginning. Now Silver is sending Spirit Walkers into Wui. Those are gonna leak. It was a very early send, and Wui has to go up to 1.5. Yeah, it's 7 lives stolen, so that's something. But also Silver got down in income by this. I think it depends now how much Chris pressure Dubs. Because I'm not sure how good Dubs is on the Hurricane, we will find out. This game might come down between Wui and Dubs into sudden death, but not sure. It might be that Chris gets him down early in the tier 3 or in the tier 4. Now the Spirit Walker from Dubs go into Silverthorn's maze, and Silver is upgrading heavily. He already has the slow plus the 10k crystal to get the armor down, but the Spirit Walkers don't really care about it. I think Silver not with the most efficient defense here.
Yep.
Yeah, they're just gonna walk through. And he's not stacking on top either, he keeps income spamming, so this is hard for Silver. Down to 20.
Yeah, I think Double is going to save a big one and finish Silver soon.
Yeah. I think Wui defended the Spirit Walkers better than Silver. He tagged into Scorpion early, and Silver cared more about the... He went 10k water slow, like the Abyssal Stalker, and 10k Tricycle. So he had no ultimate tower other than Hurricane, and had a lot of 10k and 4k, and the Spirit Walkers just walked through these.
Okay,
now
Chris is taking some life from Dubs.
Chris? Oh yeah, also with the Spirit Walker send, very nice. And Silver is now sending the big Necro send into Wui. I think this might steal something, but they all have 0 armor and walk into the Scorpion box now. Let's see. You think Wui is gonna hold all?
So because those Hurricanes also good for Necro, you know. See?
Yeah.
Necro pretty effectively. Yep, nothing leak.
Very nice hold.
You see, we now just keep on feeding Chris and then getting his mace ready, and at SD he just gonna take out the life spec.
Like he
So-
did last time. Yeah, he
Yep.
now 19 minutes 30. At this point, he just will care about finishing Mace. That's true. But I think this gives Chris the opportunity to send hard into dubs. But Chris's income is down again, so he might have had trouble defending something.
I think because I think Chris will just go all in, you know.
I don't
Once
think
he-
so. You know why? Oh, now the big shaman send comes from Voy into Chris.
Yeah.
Big shaman. I don't really like it because, in my opinion, Chris tagged a bit wrong because he went far for the moonbeam. That's why he's down in income so much. But against this particular send, it's really good because he has the different attack types against the shaman now.
Mm.
But still, this scent might leak. That's a really good scent from Woi with the shamans. And Chris has 0 armor pen. Only the crystals in the very back, and you want them in the front, of course. You want to armor pen first and not last. But he has a very, very good damage with the Gravedigger.
Yeah, Silver just lost 9 lives to Dobbs again. So he's down to 11.
Yeah. Yeah, Silver is falling back. The income and the lives are telling a clear story.
I think if Dobbs can finish Silver before SD, this game is sure win for him.
That could very much be true. And then Voy would win the tournament probably, and Dobbs could still get second or tied
Yeah.
with Chris because he was fourth and then first. Now we see a big send from Chris into Dobbs. He brings a lot of abominations. But this is good for Dobbs because now he can charge up his Beastmaster in the back. Okay, he went for them early. This might be dangerous. He's gonna hold. I think Silver is on a Kamikaze mace. Look at the back, it's all 10k glyph.
And he's on win right now.
Yeah, and he opened a hole in Voi's mace. It's not such a important one, but actually he makes a big effort. He's streaming Kodos through and everything now. But I do think that Voy might still hold it with just the Scorpion in the back and the Beastmasters. But let's find out. This might actually be big leaks from Voy. I think the Kodo and the open box, that's a very good comeback from Silver. It's just that Scorpion is so good. And I see all of the units in the back have 0 armor. Almost. So I think the defense is gonna carry. He's gonna leak some.
Yeah.
Whoa,
I
2.
They
Very-
like 15 to 20 to Silver actually is not bad idea, you know.
Hmm? You mean
Because
from
the
Voy?
Yeah, because the longer Silver stay alive, the better chance for Wui to win. you know.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, then Dubs doesn't get into him, and Voy can get the easier sense from Silver, who only has 1.5. Oh, but Silver is playing on a different page. Look at this. Silver
Oh.
he caught the exact moment when Voy tried to transition into the ultimate Earth Guardians in front. And so now Silver is attacking Voi's mace big time. And now he's sending tanks just to make sure he doesn't upgrade. But it works only halfway good. Now this might be comeback time for Silver. Let's find out. But you know what's the problem? The problem is Dubs has a huge send into Silver, and Silver is not gonna defend it, and he's gonna die. With the so Silver was baited into attacking with the Mountain Giants. Tried to stream some Necros through, but they're not gonna do much. And now he's gonna die by Dubs.
Uh.
Well, I
Yep.
don't think he saved him actually.
So, yeah,
Whoa.
so I think this game, Dubs is going to win.
Yeah,
And it's a matter between Chris and Ui who will get the second now.
that's right, yeah. If Dubs keeps pressure high, he might get out Woi quick. Or perhaps Woi get... It's unfortunate that Dubs died first in the last game. Because now Woi has basically already won it with third
Yep.
place, right?
Yes.
Because Silver was second last time. And so only Silver was really there to threaten him, and he fell out first. So that's a pretty safe Woi W, but not 100%. Let's find out.
Yeah.
Now
unless
we have
Ui-
mass MG from Woi into Chris.
Oh,
Okay, so I think Woi wants to just secure second so that he knows he won. And he basically knows Dubs is, or if that is Dubs, he's gonna win. But it's gonna be okay. Now, Chris might bring a... No, it doesn't matter. No chill Woi with Phoenix and mass mountain giants in the end. Now he could dive the Phoenix to the back and kill some of the basic towers. And now Dubs already... Oh no, Dubs is chilling. Dubs is absolutely chilling. Woi has a minimal mace that is really strong, I think. With the armor pen and the Beastmaster and the Orb Keeper and a ton of scorpions. That's really strong mace for very little mace value. And so now he's focusing on destroying Chris mace. And this will be his victory. But let's find out. I don't think Chris can still win from this position.
yeah, no way. I think this game, if Chris didn't pick a Grave Digger, it's Ui's game, you know.
Yeah, I agree. I'm a bit sad we did not see Beastmaster tech. I thought it's really,
Yeah.
really strong. But also Hurricane is just... It used to be the meta tech, so all of the people still knew well how to adjust.
Yep.
Oh, that's actually gonna be big leaks from Chris.
I think if you or Coffee is in this game, both of you will pick Beastmaster.
Yeah, I think so too. But I also like Gravedigger. But probably Gravedigger is a bad choice, looking how this game played out. It's interesting to see how the techs stack up against each other. We did not have too many of these games. So I think now it's just GG. Woi can still try to win it for the honor, but he already won the tournament, so it's not like he cares all that much anymore. And Chris is a bit pissed. Still spamming for what?
So Chris got 10 points and Dubs finished 12 points. So Dubs is second, right? Ui is
Let me think.
17.
Silver
Yeah,
has 9, right? And Chris
Yeah.
has 2 times
10.
third. So
So
10,
it's
so
10.
Dubs has 12 and Woi has
17.
17. Yes, I think that's how it looks like. Very nice. GG.
But good game.
So let me quickly post the standings. And congratulations to Woi for winning the tournament. And also congratulations to Dubs for making second in his very first tournament. And it's also very iconic, I think, that the rank number 1 and rank number 2 on the leaderboard got rank number 1 and rank number 2 in the tournament. So that was really cool. Silver had how many? 9, right?
Yes.
All right.
And Chris have 10. Dubs has 12. And
All right. All right.
Uwe has 17.
Very nice tournament.
Yes.
So that was it. I'm pretty done after 4 hours of casting. I hope
Yeah.
somebody enjoyed it, and I will have a nice evening now. And thank
Yeah.
you for co-casting the last game with me, Wong. It was really fun.
Yeah. Thank you for hosting. Thanks for the effort. Okay. Take care.
You too. Bye bye.
Bye.